This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. The show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's The Show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome. It is another installment of our little show. We do it on a Tuesday night. You call it trying, challenging, and somewhat moronic, but we call it The Show on Q Talk America. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Everybody's already in the chat room. Al's, of course, in there. Aaron from L.A. Don from North Carolina. Hope things are going all right over there where you is.
It's like a three-peat
for Don.
Don over there, yeah.
Not a lot of other things going on over there in North Carolina, I guess.
He's an early adopter. He gets in early. I got to do this so I can. Turns out I can't see anything today. So
I think it's one of you.
Those are very nice. I like those. I don't know
Al's
why you don't
wearing
wear
his
them more.
glasses.
But yeah, and I thought of it at the last minute, and then coming over here with all the dust and sand in my eyes, now I can't see a fucking thing.
Gotcha. Hi, Marn. Welcome.
Hello.
For those of you who saw the pre-show that we were showing, I just want to show so you know what we're dealing with. We do occasionally have weather in Arizona, and this was a live radar shot for about 10-15 minutes ago. We have weather coming at us. It's blowing shit everywhere. I've already been out in the front yard a couple times and picked up random things from neighbors. But I understand the way the rules always were, if it lands in your yard, it's yours.
Yep, fair.
That's the way I think this all goes. So
I think I'm pretty glad that some of my neighbors didn't adhere to that rule, because I think I'd have lost a couple of pets and a very nice patio canopy at one point.
So you have airborne pets at some point?
You don't know my life.
I don't. Apparently not.
And I will always love that expression, by the way. You don't know my life.
You don't know my life. It's my fave.
Oh my heavens! Well, anyway, we are in Studio C, and hopefully the weather will not take our power out, our air conditioning out. We'll just be able to roll through 3 hours of love and tenderness right here. I'm sitting here alongside Kat Carlson, Marnie Ryer, and Al Perkins. And I like how Al's shirt and his glasses match.
I thought of that when I threw them in the bag. I'm like, oh no, I'm like Marnie with her shoes. Such a good point.
It is, but it's a great analogy. And she's got her election shirt on, your sticker. You're all good to go.
Oh, I voted too. My sticker's in my car.
I voted 2 months ago.
I was saying I voted too, but it was in the mail a month and a half ago.
See, I just have to. They have to win back my trust, and nothing about them has said I trust you fuckers again.
See,
Right.
what's
Because I voted the year that they threw out all the ballots,
Oh, I see.
and I'm like,
Okay.
nah. I want to put that thing in myself and not be fucked with.
Maybe it's you.
That second proposition though was pretty fucking tricky though. I've read that thing like every day for
the
like 10
retirement
days,
one?
and I still don't know which way I fall on it.
I have a pretty strict rule of thumb that says don't fuck with other people's money.
Yeah, and that's where I landed.
So that's where I land on almost every
I want to say that's the word bubble that was over my head. I'm like, I don't want the karma of fucking with someone's
every time
retirement.
they put up, state benefits or state retirement for vote, I think to myself, it's not my money. Don't fuck with other people's future. Leave it alone.
Well, that and I think we're pretty safe. I know you do. We have a lot of friends who work for state agencies and are around for social services and various things that would be affected by it too.
Oh, absolutely.
Not to mention the teachers as well, because that's another one that was. Because
my
there's two
sister
of them, right? Because there was a teacher one, and then there's one for city.
Well,
it was
schools.
123 was school funding, which a lot of that will go towards salary. And the other one was, I only briefly read it and went, don't fuck with other people's money, check no, and moved along with my day.
But I see, and there was no help. There was no help online.
So.
There was no help online for that one, and I read it. It's worded. I just want to
So
shoot
weird.
those people in the head that word those things. Like,
And it always like makes me really suspicious. I always feel like there's some sort of a trick. If I can't understand the plain language of your bill,
Right.
I feel like
I'm a very intelligent person.
As you read it, it totally seemed like if you vote no, you're a dickhead.
Right.
But if you vote yes, good for you.
You're just slightly less of a dickhead.
To me.
I just felt like I was in some kind of a double negative puzzle I couldn't get out of.
No, you're right.
Because if you vote yes, then you're
sunshine
giving people
and
money
lollipop.
and rainbows. If you vote no, fuck off.
Years ago, before I got more involved in caring about all this than I do now, I used to defer to who used to be on our cast. I used to defer to Buddy Early. I would literally send him a message on Facebook or text him and be like, I need to know on XYZ how are we going, and he would tell me, and I would go with whatever he said because I had full faith in him, and I still do. But what I did this season for those two proposals, I know you guys had talked about it a little bit, but I literally jumped on the Facebooks and I just looked for it and found all the people that like are part of my friends network and figured out really where everybody was going on it, and that's what I did because I'm not reading all of it. I'm not going to go through all of it and read it. I wanted to do it, and we're moved on.
But it was all that, and that's a great way to do it. It was just that all of it, even the writing in that, was you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Because Erin's
Truly.
writing was very moving, but at the end of it, I'm like, so is she for it?
She's for it. Yeah. But that's where, and that's where I looked at it like I'm not going to fuck with anybody's money.
Yeah,
So
and I
that's
did.
why
And
was
two
like-
teachers that I know
Yeah,
said
I go with exactly what
two
you're saying.
teachers
Yeah.
said vote yes on that one, so I said all right. So
Sure.
but I mean, still, the way those things are worded is just a crime because I still don't know what that second one was really about, and I read about it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know. They get money, they don't get money, they work somewhere.
I'm all about Cletisha. Whatever's happening right now.
Cletisha in the chat room, welcome. Glad you're with us live.
Hey,
I love
welcome.
Don and Mama
If you're
Di,
not in the
Aaron.
chat room, I'll read it to you, Cletisha, if I'm
enjoying that
saying that
tremendously.
correctly.
I feel good about it.
Hello all, I am so glad to be here after months and months of listening to the show on my iPod. I finally figured out how to get into the chat room, so welcome.
Welcome.
Actually, what I'm going to post,
coming to
meow.
you.
what I'm going to post though in the
Welcome.
chat room, which I shared with all of you guys today, I wanted to make sure that everybody knows the link, which I'm going to copy and paste and yada yada yada. This coming in the chat room right now is a link that you can use to get in the chat room regardless if we're live or not. So if you want to join the chat room before we go live, you can certainly do that because sometimes chats go on in there without us. Actually, most of the show goes on without where most of the chat room
We're
goes
the
on
lovely
without-
distraction while people have a nice cyber
Right.
conversation.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Flashback to AOL chat
I'm
room.
just going to turn down the
very
volume
much.
of that.
Hey
while
guys, we'll
while
meet you next Tuesday,
Yeah.
right? That's fantastic. See you in the chat room next Tuesday.
Cletisha, let us know where you're from. I don't recall you saying that in your thing, so let us know where you're listening from, and Al can add you to the list of people and how you identify.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Very nice. Can't go wrong. That's a great name, Cletisha. I like it.
it's got a certain ring to it.
Sure does.
Doesn't it?
I like it.
Oh heavens! Well, here we are. We've gathered again. Everybody made it safe and sound from wherever. No wrecks, no harm, no injuries, to my knowledge. Good, very good. We'll start around.
My hands are right here.
We'll start with the oval table discussion with Kat Carlson. What have you been up to?
Oh my God, I almost died.
What?
Oh no!
Well,
This just in.
Just when you thought it was safe.
I know. I thought we just all said no.
I know.
that
So wait a
everything
minute.
was
So how's your day going? Oh, it's not going good. Not going good,
good.
Kat.
fine. Well, actually, it's apparently going pretty well.
Today going amazingly. Last week on a Wednesday, I was attacked by the digestive plague.
Oh.
I
I know,
did.
it
I
was
forgot that.
terrible.
Yes.
It was terrible. I don't know what it was, and it didn't affect any of my family. It didn't affect anyone that I knew.
That's
It was
good.
clearly just me. I wanted to blame it on that goddamn cake, but then I realized that none of you all were affected. So I don't even
my
know.
But I did have to go for an insulin shot.
Yeah.
And I'm not even diabetic.
That's
Erie, Pennsylvania, by the way. Erie, Pennsylvania. Well, guys.
your shopping mall is shaped like a revolver.
Well,
True story.
Okay.
add that to the list of things that I certainly did not know.
We
They
have
don't
a-
have sales tax, so my family goes to Erie, Pennsylvania
Oh.
to go Christmas shopping.
They
every
have
year.
they have one
It's a
shape,
whole outing.
a mall shaped like a gun, and we have a theater shaped like a toilet.
There you go.
Anyway, back to your
God
illness.
bless
Please, yes.
America.
Yes.
In any event, it was 3 days of what I'm fondly referring to as the cleanse I didn't ask for.
Ouch.
Fair enough.
I'm down 5 pounds.
Oh, good
Nice.
for you. Very
Oh,
nice.
why couldn't I get it?
I am one
By the
sign.
way, Katie June will be on that diet by
Yeah.
next week.
I am
Sure,
2
what?
good sinus infections away from being perfect body weight.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so nice.
Well,
So
and a
close.
stomach bug, yes.
So close.
Oh, slip that in. Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So yet so far.
I meant for me.
Oh, I see.
But yeah,
nice.
sadly spent most of the last week a little bit under the weather. So much so that I took off work, which is kind of a momentous occasion.
But I saw
know.
that you pushed through because
is a
you
big
got
deal.
you got food and something in an energy
did.
bar and went to work at Cobalt.
I did on Friday. I took off Thursday, and I went to work on Friday.
No,
And
that's so not
For
like
those of
to
you
do that.
unfamiliar with where Kat works,
we go.
let's take a live shot. Let's look at
let's see, how's
Cobalt
it
right
going
now.
there?
There's Cobalt. So it looks just like normal. Okay, there's
it looks
that.
nice.
Very nice, Cobalt.
very
Thank
busy.
you. Very busy.
I'm glad we installed that camera.
Yeah, good.
It's very nice.
very
We
nice.
just check
It's
in
like
from
the
time to
I
time.
can't get any other
Yeah.
fucking camera to work, but that one is fantastic.
Yeah. But once I was almost feeling better, my oldest child, God love him, he was sent to go clean up the toy room because we've got a pretty big house, and so we've got one room that the boys share and one room that all of their crap kind of goes in. Mm-hmm. And he was sent, on just a weekend errand, on a weekend chore to clean it up. Sharon said, "Hey, go clean out the toy room." And all of a sudden, before anybody knew what was happening, everything was being removed from the toy room and piled weirdly in the bathroom. We don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because he had all of a sudden out of nowhere decided that he wanted his own room. So then that became a whole ordeal in our house.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I've grown up enough to have my own room.
I think I'm grown up enough to have my own room, except for it's going to take me like an hour and a half to have Mom tuck me in the first night I want to sleep in my brand new grown up room, because I'm still a 10-year-old mama's boy who wants to sleep with somebody.
Okay.
But I mean,
Got it.
he'll get there. He'll get there.
And then once he gets the room, then you have to have the conversation about phone lines in the room, TV in the room.
Wait,
I'm sorry, that's 1980s conversations. I'm
Yeah,
I'm
terribly
like,
sorry.
wait a minute,
That was conversations when I
That's
was a
not
kid.
happening.
My bad.
Yeah. Maybe a coincidence, maybe intentional, but I did go through the parental settings on the
It just seems
on the
like,
Wi-Fi
Oh.
it does
and
seem
set
like
that
a
up
good
with
call.
some time limits.
Oh, time limits.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I have these kids that keep getting up at like 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning just to watch TV for 8 hours before anybody gets up.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I decided that wasn't going to happen all summer. So now nothing with Wi-Fi is going to work for them
Well, also
until
you
about
have
8
to share
o'clock.
those kind of things, right? Isn't that?
I'm sorry?
Right? She has to share the TV, like more than one TV. Can't have Hulu on or something, didn't you say?
Oh, we were talking about Netflix last
sure,
week.
sure,
Netflix
sure.
was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
I'm
I can do
wait a
4
minute.
simultaneous screens on
Oh, that's
Netflix.
nice.
Yeah, I pay
Okay.
the extra money.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot.
But no,
I was thinking maybe that was part of it too.
my router has
Smart.
the ability to identify each client individually
Right.
and set up a time schedule for each client. So I can decide that,
nice.
oh, hey, your tablet can only be used in this window,
Right.
whereas my stuff is wide open because I'm a fucking grown up and I pay for it.
Right.
Yeah. So that's been my very eventful weekend, and then I spent today.
I'm glad you're feeling better.
Oh, yes, I
I'm
am
glad
too.
I'm feeling better too. I went and had my own personal production meeting at the local brewery today.
How'd that go?
I had a little solo production meeting myself.
Did you?
Thanks for asking.
Good to know. Good to
Is that
know.
a metaphor?
Yeah.
No.
Well, because now it's almost summer, so I have very little to do early on in the week. Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I have nothing to do, and the kids are still in school. So I, did some honeydews yesterday, and then today I was just sick and tired of looking at my house about 4 o'clock, and I was like, I'm gonna go have a beer.
Nice.
I'm gonna go sit down at the bar.
At a girl.
And so I did. I took the laptop and I.
Well, next Tuesday, let's
Read
do a
some
real
things.
production meeting together.
Can I do
Well,
it
now next Tuesday.
Oh, I can't do it next Tuesday. I gotta do it every other.
Oh,
So I have
okay.
kids next Tuesday.
Uh,
Nah,
you'll be here
the
though.
schedule's come. Well, I'll be here, but I won't have time to
okay.
production
Everything in the
meeting.
morning.
Because next week is
It's a big deal.
whatever. It's our 200th show.
That's
I mean,
true.
if you want to be here, show
I
up.
think it's a big deal.
I don't mean that publicly. I just
Yeah.
mean the 4 of us. I don't mean if you want to randomly just fly into town or stop by. I'm saying no.
Yeah.
Please don't.
We don't
It's a very
have
special day.
What is it? We don't have the
We don't have the room.
We don't have the counter space.
don't have the counter space. Thank you. Don't have the counter space.
I know when I'm needed for a Steel Magnolias quote.
Atta girl.
Oh heavens. Well, good. So that's your deal.
That's my whole week. I've
Got it. There's
Almost
also,
died.
if I'm not mistaken, you'd have to check other router settings, and maybe it is not in that router. There are other settings within the router that you can do. Domains can be blocked. I don't know if you just said that, I missed it. I'm sorry.
No, I can block individual websites. I haven't found that to be a problem so far. Like so far, he's just playing some dumb, stupid Dragons game and watching TV, which is fine. So I've just locked out those early morning hours to kind of.
If you're gonna get
prevent
up, go
that.
do something instructive.
Sure.
Well, it's 5 o'clock in the fucking morning. Go back to bed, dumbass.
Oh,
That's how you know you're a mom.
do you? I mean,
opposed to that.
were you risking him ordering a shark vacuum or Ginsu knives at 5 o'clock? I don't know.
No, we don't watch actual TV. He's just watching Netflix the whole time.
But either way,
Yeah.
order it. Don't wake me up.
That's funny.
We'll deal with it when the knives
No,
arrive.
We can.
It's an odd phenomenon, and I don't know if it happened to those of us that were raised on television or if it's new. But this kid, I mean, they're ordinarily really great kids. But this kid, if he's 3 hours or more on technology, is a douche, and nobody likes to be around him. You're like, who are you? And go away. So we kind of have to trim that down.
because he went down that rabbit hole.
Because he went down that rabbit hole, and now to like extract him out
Yeah.
is just terrible. And
I get
nobody
that
wants
with
to-
reading a lot.
Yeah.
Where once I fall in the hole, then, I mean, you can drop a bomb next to me, and I'm just
That
not
would be
coming
totally
back.
fine
Sure.
with me.
Yeah.
Totally fine with me. You go read for 28
Yeah.
hours straight. I don't care.
Sure.
Everything is.
That's a good
I don't
thing,
know.
though. That's a good thing. Reading.
Parenting.
I like it.
Reading is fundamental. RuPaul taught me that.
Probably
believe
doing
so.
it all wrong.
I doubt it.
Probably.
I doubt it. There's
Remember.
no handbook, I don't think.
Those who don't read
no
have no
handbook.
advantages over those who can't read.
Oh,
Good.
geez.
I don't
One of my
remember who said
favorite
that, but I
quotes.
love that
Deep
quote.
thoughts with Alfie.
Doug Wilkie's father, as far as I know. That's the only place I've ever
No,
heard
I've
it.
seen that. Before.
Okay.
Yeah, but I like that.
I saw it stitched on a pillow one time.
Yeah. I didn't read it, though.
I think on Facebook they say Mark Twain said it. You know,
No,
like,
Abraham Lincoln, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Right
That's
after he said, beware of things you read on the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just after.
Just in case.
As he was leaping through the theater program, he uttered
Yeah.
those very wise
But
words.
he's like, I need a shot.
And
Yeah,
something
you
about
know.
gun control. I don't know what something. I don't know.
Something like that. He wanted to drink and bang,
Yeah,
so
bang.
he followed through.
So it's my American
Anyway.
cousin that we're seeing, and shouldn't read everything. Shouldn't believe everything you read on the internet. Those are his
don't.
last two sentences.
Nice. Very nice.
Exactly.
Martin,
Ms.
what have you been up
I
to?
have no idea.
All right.
I have no idea. I was
Were
trying
you
to think
there
about that earlier.
the whole
I don't
time?
know. I can't fucking remember the week. I don't know.
Did you vote?
I've just been working.
You
I
voted?
did.
See?
I voted.
We
There's
need
a
you to
place to
take
start.
notes.
I know.
See, I know.
Work
We
right?
your
have to
way
get
backwards.
visual
No, no, no.
clues or what's hanging off of
Yeah,
her.
that just adds to the fucking week. Of
All
what
we
I'd
need to
have
do is a
though.
starting
And then
point
I'm a
and then just
failure at
go
that
from
as
there.
well.
We just if
Yeah, I know,
we
you have to
anchor
feed
and
me.
voted.
Let's
What did
see.
you do before you voted?
Worked.
Or just give us today.
Where
Yeah,
was that?
just working. That's really all I've been doing. That's why
Where
I'm
was
like,
that
well,
picture taken that someone posted as their favorite? Where you're laughing.
That is a
picture
cute
funny.
picture
Thank
because
you.
you are genuinely laughing in
Oh,
that shot.
that was
Actually, I should find that and share that with the
God,
with the people.
That was a
Totes adorbs.
sweet picture. Thank you. Yeah, we were at that was the wedding I went to in
Totes
Minnesota
adorbs.
in May, and the gentleman. I love that you're going to put that up there,
It's currently
Clayton,
May.
because March. Sorry, the other May. The gentleman.
I don't mean to
you're-
correct you when you're on a roll of something you may or may
I
not
know,
have done.
I might have done this. I don't know. It could have been somebody else. But the gentleman that you're is in the picture with me is Eddie, who will jump in the chat room. Just me, Marn, when he puts
yeah.
the Just me, Marn. That's Eddie. So known each other for years. I adore him. So yeah, that was at the wedding that we were at of one of my real close friends.
Here is the picture Marnie's
Minnesota.
talking about for those of you that just look at the laugh. She just genuinely, I don't know what the hell you're laughing
We were
at.
crying. Well, I can tell you, I can tell you damn near exactly what we were laughing at, but I'd have to do it in code in case. Somebody
protect the
decided to
innocent.
wear somebody decided to wear that should not have.
Okay.
Just to begin with, a very short dress,
Okay.
a very short dress, and this is someone who
Being a little hard on the beaver, is that where you're at?
we were
Little breezy on the beaver.
Little
there.
breezy
Get a little
on the
peek
beaver.
at the punani over
And,
there.
well, the way that they had everything set up was the bride and groom were in the middle of this beautiful library, and then seats. There were probably like 12 rows that were facing us, and then there were 4 rows kind of going this way along the back, facing them, whatever, surrounding them. And all of a sudden, I looked up, and I, leave it to me. I have to, come on.
Direct line of sight.
Whoa!
Yeah.
And it was someone who decided maybe that leg was falling asleep, so let me just shift and pull the full-on Sharon Stone
Sharon
on me.
Stone on you. Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I and should not have been sitting with her legs crossed.
And then you just all of a sudden had to look away.
Well, I looked at Eddie and he said, I wish something would happen. I don't remember exactly what he said. And I said, well, I wish that I hadn't just gotten Sharon stoned. And so we were, and then he looked up and he goes, you got to fucking do that to me every time, don't you? So anyway, we were laughing and laughing. It was fantastic. The end.
Well,
So,
okay.
it was very fun. That was, when I saw that picture, I went, oh my God, somebody caught us. Oh.
And just happened to catch that moment.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. So
that's fantastic.
It is. I usually am not a good person for pictures being taken the whole inaction, but I like to pose, get that cheese,
Sure.
But anyway, that's about it. Just been working, and working, and not so fun.
Okay.
Not so fun. So
sounds terrible.
my boring life.
Yeah.
But
Everybody has them.
But you weren't about to die.
So
You weren't
that
about
was
to
Oh, good.
Yes.
Yeah.
We wondered where it went.
I wondered where it went. I was
Or
like,
worshiping the
I'm
porcelain
right
gods.
here. I'm right here for you. I'll take that on.
Got it.
Yeah.
You inherited 5 pounds.
Exactly. Exactly. So Fine, sir. I'm just going to move my beaver over.
Turns out your quote, before you start, turns out your quote has been incorrectly attributed to Mark Twain for years and years.
Fantastic. I was
But
kidding.
it's a no. It has. Forbes attributed it to Mark Twain and some other publication back in the 40s.
But it was really Alexander Hamilton, right?
But it was really Alexander Hamilton. Done. No, it was really first printed in the Southern Workman, a publication out of Virginia, and it's a paraphrase of the State Superintendent of Public Instruction in Virginia, who was an advocate in support of libraries and would provide books for children. He used a rhetorical question that equated individuals who cannot read with those who do not read
Yeah.
in his interview.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the internet quote.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm still in the
We've
reading.
proven that was not Lincoln.
Yeah.
No,
I did some
good.
crack investigation right here.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. I like it.
Yeah, that's good to know because I thought Doug Wilkie's father said it.
Well,
I bet he did, but probably not.
He
the
probably-
first guy
He
to
said
say
it that one time.
He probably
may have
read
heard
it.
Said it. Yeah, he read it.
Yeah.
Angelica.
So Cletisha, yes, thank you. That her cousin was one of the biggest alcoholics that Alfred University ever produced. I was in the running there for one brief but glorious day in like 1982. I just got trash out of my mind at that. We used to go to theater competitions at Alfred every spring, and it was just an excuse for 15-year-olds to like drink themselves into a Glee episode. It was just ridiculous.
well,
And
Nicely done.
okay.
it was craziness, but a fun school, and that's right near. Now I think they pronounce it Olean, New York. So I
Yeah,
believe
saw that
where
it
she's
wasn't
really
Erie.
from.
Yeah.
Wait, I'll go to there.
Erie's like the closest big town.
Yeah.
Worked, and then
Drank on Sunday.
drank on Sunday. I was not.
As God intended.
Because I realized that my asshole plan of like, oh, I'll sleep on Sunday and that will make up for not being able to sleep on Tuesday. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Tuesday
That's
through
just not.
Friday.
Yeah.
You can't save it up.
No.
Right.
No.
And it just leads to like bad behavior. So I was all set to like cash it in and have a restful night on Sunday, and then a cute boy called and asked if I'm going to go to dinner, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, I'll go to dinner. And then drinking, and then met up with Clayton McKee and company. And what's your,
That was Carlos.
Carlos.
Carlos Montefar, who was with me at the Stacy's hanging out.
So it was
very nice.
lovely boys and liquor, and then I had to work yesterday, even though I had a shit ton of stuff scheduled for Tuesday.
Well,
And it was rough, so I just got up at noon today, and I was like, well, fuck it, that's all the sleep we're getting. Like, we're not making that up. And
power through.
Now,
Sometimes
if you'll permit, I'd like to share a little bit of your some home maintenance stuff, because I think it's a public service to people who don't know, and I don't have it written down here. I just I just realized it. Because last Wednesday we did the show. Wednesday I came to your house with a ladder to replace a light, a cap on the roof thing, and then
oh yeah, I never did fix that problem.
two things. He's like, I can't figure out how to get the smoke detector to stay where, you know, in the mounting bracket on the ceiling. Well, because it was broken. So he'd been trying it forever in futile attempts to get it to fix.
Well, thank God you figured that out.
And I thought it was just stupid. Well, he's taller than I am, so we
Sure.
can actually see it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because sometimes you're just like,
And
this
then-
all
Yes,
going-
I'm like, I don't fucking know.
And then the other one, he has a CO2 is right, a CO2 carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide detector in
A CO.
CO in his laundry room, which is the worst place really to have it, because by the time he'll already be dead. But
Yeah, it
Well,
turns out
because
you're
of where it's located.
Right.
it should be
Right.
near where
Right.
people are.
yeah,
and near where you sleep, and it shouldn't be on the ceiling because by the time the carbon monoxide makes it to the ceiling,
it's over. Lights out.
miles from my bed, not miles. I
Oh,
have a
because
very small
monoxide is
house.
heavy, so it builds
Oh,
from
that's
the
Yeah.
floor
fantastic.
up.
So I have one by my room.
Yeah.
But it should be
It's
down by
way
your head.
Should be
up
lower,
high.
Yeah, it
right?
should be lower.
I'll have
So
to
so
move
he's
that.
like, I can't figure out what the fuck's wrong with this thing, and I couldn't either, because we replaced batteries, we did this, we reset buttons, and then all of a sudden, Al puts on his glasses and he reads the
That's
instructions.
number 3. I've had my glasses on several times. I just
Yes,
did-
but the reading is the key right there, my friend.
well, you know what I say. If you can't get there in the second sentence, don't fucking bother me.
You know what's actually really funny is I spend a fair amount of time telling people that if it's longer than a tweet, nobody's going to read it.
Yeah.
Right.
So it turns out sentence number 3 says, after 7 years, this machine will no longer function.
And will
And
beep
you ju-
incessantly.
It will just beep incessantly until you buy a new one. I have bought batteries. I have recharged batteries. I have brought this places and asked people, like, do I just not know how to put 3 batteries in? Because it seems pretty clear which way these batteries face.
We both were standing in
And
his
it doesn't
kitchen
say,
for
you just gotta
15
follow the
minutes.
fucking stick
Yeah,
figure as
yeah.
to, like, the head points this way, the tail points that way, motherfucker.
Show me
And
on the
number-
alarm
and
where
step
we
number
hurt
3
you.
says, Fuck you.
It was so funny.
And I'm hitting reset, and
Right.
I'm waiting for this light to turn
We
green.
even
I
walked
would've
out in the
done the same
backyard. He's like, "Is there CO2 in the house right now?"
Right.
So
And
we
then just,
wa-
maybe it's alarming because I'm dying, because I'm slowly just breathing in carbon monoxide. And this thing's like, it's been 3 months! Get out of the house!
Oh, it was so funny that he read that and we both had this realization of fucking throw it over here. Doesn't matter.
I was like, well, that's like a lot of time in my life I cannot get back.
I'm sorry for that. Sorry about that.
But I told him like
It
2
was
weeks
good.
ago, I'm like, you have got to, and I almost brought it to the show the one day to be like, someone put these
So I
fucking
could just sit
batteries
here and
in.
beep.
But the fact that I bought new batteries twice for it.
I do.
It's very special.
I do
Yeah.
enjoy
But I
that
voted today and
story.
I had a delightful teeth cleaning, and
Oh,
you sit through a teeth cleaning for like 5 seconds with a hot dentist. I don't get it. He's so beautiful though.
Oh,
oh.
And he comes in and he smiles and he touched me.
Who's your dentist?
I mean,
sounds
Dr.
very
Peoples.
nice.
P-E-P-L-E-S, like Nia?
Yeah. Like people. People.
People who need dental work
Um,
are the luckiest people.
and his first name is something funny like Sheldon, but it's not Sheldon because that's from When Harry Met Sally. But
I
it's
love
it's
Sheldon.
Spencer. His name's Spencer.
Spencer Peoples? Mm-hmm. Shut up.
Cute as a fucking button.
Can we get him on the show?
And surprisingly, gorgeous teeth.
I'm gonna look him up right now on his Facebook.
Oh my God, is that? Oh, that's him. Wait, where is it? On Missouri?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hang on. We're going to show how cute he is. He's a cutie.
Oh, he's so adorable.
Wait, how are we spelling people's again? Like,
P-E-P, like Nia.
Like the word. Like the peoples of Argentina.
Oh, this, unfortunately, this isn't the
Use
clearest.
that in a sentence. Spell the word people.
This isn't.
you don't have to be an asshole about it.
I kind of do.
Doesn't have to be, but he is. This is not the best clear picture, but that's it. He's a
Look
good
at those fucking teeth,
he's a-
though.
Look, Kat, we got him up here.
He comes at you
Oh,
with
okay, I
those
got his
teeth.
Facebook right here. I'm gonna
Yeah.
add him.
You're gonna.
And he...
Well,
That's funny. You looking for a new dental plan?
it doesn't tell me whether or not I have mutual friends. Well,
And it's
because
weird. I don't know how they bill people, but they don't even ask for my insurance card anymore. And they just charge me $1 every couple of
Well,
months.
because you've got stellar insurance at the
No,
restaurant.
I really don't have stellar insurance,
Oh,
so I
whatever.
can't
it
figure
says
out.
he lives in Scottsdale. There's a good chance that I have mutual friends with him.
Oh, boozy moms.
Well, duh.
Sure.
I just sent a friend request.
People who drink with people.
Doctors named people.
Yeah. So then I watched Hillary squeak out a win in Kentucky. As
Yeah,
the
that was
temper
surprising.
tantrum that is the Bernie Sanders campaign.
That was surprising
continues.
everybody earlier on the MSNBCs, and I laughed earlier because we've had so many of these fucking air quotes Super Tuesdays. They've just fuck it.
I said that Super Tuesday 4.
No. Rachel just did it solo. Brian Williams wasn't there. She had a couple different people on her own set. Like we're not even fucking with this
Yeah.
anymore.
Well, it's not that super anymore. It's
No,
only
it's
2
not.
now.
Yeah,
No, it's not at all.
And it's pretty much decided.
Right.
I mean, but the evil, awful super delegates that are the end of democracy, all of a sudden Bernie
Right.
needs them, and they're the greatest thing that ever
Because they're
happened.
part of democracy. But never
Yeah.
mind.
And bad behavior in Nevada.
Oh yeah.
That luckily because the news channels have pretty much been stroking off Bernie Sanders for 6 months, and they finally took him to task today.
Like calm down. And
they're
then
making death threats. Like
right.
Bernie's.
And then
Actual death threats?
Oh yeah, to the head of the Democratic Party in Nevada.
right, like giving their addresses and
They're
all
put out
this
her
kind of shit.
address. Like the Sanders followers are showing their true colors. now, like-
The other thing was apparently somebody reached out from the DNC, reached out to Bernie and it's like, you need to squelch this and get
And
on
he-
this.
and
And
he
he's
was-
like, nuh-uh, we're going to let them just do their
They
thing.
were like, well, of course we don't believe in violence, but we were. No one will throw us under. And I'm like, no, you need to say, like, if you're on my team, you don't threaten people
No.
and give out their home addresses. Like,
That's-
that shit's got to
I mean, that's
stop.
as bad
Called
as-
leadership, dumbass.
Well, there's
Right,
that.
right. And if they're, I don't know. To me, it's just a big, long temper tantrum now that he's
Yeah.
throwing.
Right. Old
I mean,
cranky
granted,
man.
I want him to go through California, go through all 50 states.
Right,
No one
absolutely.
should be
Go all the way to
disenfranchised.
all the way to the convention. Let everybody, vote
I think the
or whatever.
Republicans should still have all 17 people to choose from. No, the primary system should be shorter so that all
Much.
50 states get a say.
I just wish it would all happen in one day.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
God,
maybe
I wish
over,
it would.
Like
I think
3
a very
weeks.
exciting week.
Right. A week, 3
Split
weeks.
the difference, 2 weeks.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe that's
I'm
fair.
in.
Maybe you do it literally. It's a week in a month, and we're done.
Like a very
Because
exciting
that gives them
week
time to. They
in
could fly to
March.
state to state to state if they wanted to.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I.
Like the month of February, and then we're fucking done.
Right. Well,
In all 50 states and the territories,
Yeah.
everybody gets to vote.
Mm-hmm.
I
Pack
certainly
it
don't
in,
want
super exciting.
Californians
You
to not
do
have
all
their
of
chance
your,
to
like-
vote for Bernie. The ones that aren't making death threats,
right.
and even the ones that are,
Well, and I would make it later. I wouldn't make it February. I would give them time to campaign and cover all the campaign stops, and they have to go visit all these places. I get it. Reach out to the
So
people.
just slam it all into May.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just slam it
I
all
think
into
that's
May.
good. May, and then we got what? We got June, July, August, September. They
But
just
be sure
roll.
that you have clear consent from May, because
Yeah,
she gets picky.
exactly. It's a very litigious society. I'm gonna need you to write it.
If you're gonna slam it into May, you better make sure that she's on board.
Never caught that in the first round. Missed that,
That was one of
altogether.
the sweetest
alright.
moments on Big Bang Theory this year is when Sheldon and Amy finally did it. And just as they're about to, he's like, I need you to sign this piece of paper. It's a very litigious society. I need to make sure I have your consent. But it was so like true to his character.
That's so. I have to wait until that's probably over at this point. CBS is so smart.
Oh, that
Number
show's,
one,
they're tight
and
with that
holding
show.
on tight with that show. Like you can't stream that anywhere. You can't find it.
I own
Even
a
old
couple
episodes.
seasons. I can own a couple. I can loan you some seasons
okay.
that I own.
I think I'm just gonna wait until they cancel it and
But it,
and
cra-
lost
it
it and
crashed
just
my
do it.
computer because when I was sick, that's what I was trying to watch, and I was like, I am not spending $23 on the next season. So I went through some Japanese site that
Oh,
was just
no.
one big
Virus.
Virus
Kiki
fest.
virus, whatever
Yeah.
the fuck is that called? We throw a Kiki, we catch.
Let's have a Kiki, right?
Let's have a Kiki.
Zeke. We catch
Zeke.
Zeke. We
Zeke.
throw
Throw
a
a
Kiki.
Kiki. It's so confusing.
Ezekiel, whatever his name is.
So, for me, will I Kiki? So yeah, so that's all I got caught up with. I think it was the tonsillitis
Oh, okay.
that brought me to the Sheldon and all of them. Because I was like, well, I can't go anywhere. And for you, sir, what did you do this week?
I wrote it all down. I got stuff to talk about.
I wrote
Oh.
it up.
There's a list.
Dear diary.
Well, one of the first things I did, and I thought about this because I'm a little conscious. We talk into these mics all the time. So just today, I washed all the pop guards.
I was
They
gonna
smell
comment. They smell very nice.
very downy, spring fresh. So they're all washed.
In a beautiful thing that's saving my life recently, I can't smell stuff for a while. Like I
That's
had
so
seriously
nice.
be like, turn on your smells. And last night at work, it really did help me because it turns out there was something you did not want to smell.
Oh.
I get that.
Remember, was it last week's show that I talked about the Mother's Day gift I gave my mom, the pool
Yes.
vac, and how successful? Well, look at this.
Oh, we have results.
Mom's pool.
Oh.
It's clear. It's
Is there a
ready.
before of like a shitty dirty pool?
I'm not going to show that one.
Oh, okay. Well, because I like
Like
before
the
and
contrast,
afters.
but I don't have it from the same angle. I would have liked it if it was the same, but it's not. But the once this vacuum went in, it started. Obviously, it's moving around. It stirs up all the muck, and then you just couldn't see anything.
Makes it super cloudy for
But
a
it
couple
like
of days.
2
yeah.
days, 3 days, boom! This had done all the work, and she shocked it. And all we're waiting for now is for it to warm up, and she'll be right in there.
I know.
and ready to go.
Seriously, like
It's time.
The
My
luck of the
pool's
Irish.
warm.
We have extended our good fortune way too long.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Has it been? It's been 100 like 1 day so far, right?
one maybe two. Yeah, I
mean,
I think really only one. I think you're right.
We're at May 17th at 100-degree day. Like
Yeah.
we are paying for this in December, kids.
Although it's
Santa's gonna come down in a bikini and a.
I can't even see the bikini, sir. I'm terribly sorry. I can't even see the Speedo. So then, last night was the season 8 finale of Drag Race that I was hosting at Stacey's. I'm wearing a Stacey's
Did
hat
you win?
today. I did not. I was not even a contender.
Oh, damn it.
Which has been the case in a lot of things of late.
Yeah, exactly. I lost in a contest. I wasn't even a. What'd you say? I lost in a pageant. I wasn't even a contestant.
That's exactly. I'm a loser
sad.
in a pageant I was not even a contestant for. So did that. That was a very fun turnout. And here's the irony of the whole thing. I have been. You know how when you start a project, you do something, and you're like, well, everybody around you says, oh, we'll get this fixed, we'll get it fixed, we'll get it fixed. And then you're like, well, I know this isn't going to get fixed until like the last fucking minute of the whole thing. Exactly. We had an hour left, and they finally fixed the goddamn audio problem so I could hear the show. And in the last hour, we had it at full volume with everything. And I'm like, I suffered for a whole 9 fucking weeks of minimal volume that everybody had to be completely deathly silent for so we could just at least hear it. We'll fix it.
Did you
And-
bask in the glory of that hour? Did you
I did. I totally did. I completely did. But it was good. Stacey loved it. Of course, we had a good time. And now he wants me to find something else to show on Mondays so we can continue on doing
See,
something.
that's the trouble with that Drag Race phenomenon. Like then there's this giant void.
Right. Well, they're
for
already
the other 43
weeks,
weeks
yeah.
out of the year.
They've already started the next round of Drag Race Superstars, where they bring back some of the queens who've already
Oh.
run.
Oh, so they're
and
just
they-
going all Project Runway with it.
Oh no, they
Oh,
totally
yeah,
will,
they
totally
do.
will. So, but if you don't know, spoiler alert: Bob the Drag Queen won, and I thought it was going to be between Naomi Smalls and Bob the Drag Queen. Didn't make any difference to me, whichever one won. I was going to be happy, and boom, it's done, it's over. So that's in the bag. We're glad that that's over.
Mondays are free.
Yes, and then Mom brought this up. You notice the big gay flag?
Oh,
I
yeah.
did, absolutely.
I didn't notice it
Yeah,
until Di
I
mentioned
actually
it,
did.
but that scared the crap out of me.
Random thing, and I'd completely forgotten about it. On Facebook several months ago, it was one of those things where some ad popped up, somebody had shared it, and it's like, click on this, we'll send you a gay flag for free. So I'm like, okay.
Oh, shut up.
So literally, I clicked on it. All I had to do was, I think I put in my address or whatever the fuck I put in, and I didn't think another thing about it. And all of a sudden, this package arrives from, I don't know, Malaysia or somewhere. I couldn't read any of the writing. But again, this is months ago.
You can't get Tomo Pop-Tarts, but you
Right,
can get
right.
that.
Well, they were
from
shipping
over
it to here,
Oh, God.
not me
Yeah,
there.
Right.
So this arrived the other day, and I'm like, well, this has got to go in the studio somewhere. So that's where it wound up
good.
at this point. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure where it's going to finally wind up. But for I wasn't mad. I
like it.
have a free flag.
Yeah.
So we'll
pretty cool.
figure out something else to do with it.
Good on you.
And it's not like, this tiny little
Right.
flag.
That
and-
was what I was afraid of. Like,
Sure.
no, it's a 3x5 flag. So I could even put it outside, even
Absolutely.
though the funny thing is, neighbors next doors are Moe's. They and during Pride they put up their flag.
Right.
And the guy, he even asked me, he's like, put up a flag? I'm like, never have. It's just never, I've never put up a gay flag on my house.
Sure.
I mean, I'm American first.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
that flag stays there.
Yeah.
But other
Absolutely.
than that, I'm like, it never occurred to me.
Sure.
So whatever, there's that.
No, I get it.
Yeah, so
Looks
there.
good there, I like
so
it.
flag, drag. I think I'm not. Oh, and I had a massage today. So that's that.
Very
now,
nice.
Here's an interesting thing. If I don't know how many of you ever go get massage. I'm talking to legitimate massage people, not where you
Happy
go.
endings.
Right? No. So I had
Giving
gone.
hand jobs for cash.
I had gone back in like this.
Sometimes it's Tuesday. You got an
Sometimes
extra
you
20
feel like a
bucks.
nut.
What
I
are you
had
gonna
gone
do?
back in December because I was having a lot of neck and upper back problems, and it's when you've not been in your muscles, and you'll understand this because you do massage or you go get them. If you haven't been and those muscles are in a knot, it is holy god painful.
Yeah.
And it was today.
Once to loosen, to get
Right,
loosened up.
because it was a let's work on Clayton's leg day because I've been having calf cramps in my calves. Yeah. Oh dear, he worked some shit out of that. He's like, you need to get. He said I needed more electrolytes in my system. He's like, you clearly aren't. If you're having leg cramps, like you need to do. So
Eat
that's
more
what this is.
bananas and
Stick some nickels at the
Potassium,
bottom of your.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
This is mango Pedialyte, boys and girls. It's lovely.
Jesus Christ, with vodka in it, I hope.
No, not yet. but I asked
little
him.
crown in there.
Pedialyte.
He needs electrolytes.
Pedialyte and coffee. Oh, and then Pedialyte now has the little packets.
I don't really understand.
I wasn't aware of what it used to have.
I didn't know the difference.
Pedialyte now comes in a little single serving package you can just dump in a bottle of water and boom, you got it. Instant Pedialyte.
Can't
you
you
go.
just get Gatorade? Yeah.
It's similar, but there's
Similar?
there's
Too
like
much sugar.
A lot of sugar.
no, there's
Lots of sugar.
antifreeze and
Oh, good.
there's actual
Well,
antifreeze.
For those-
I
in
have never
Gatorade.
encountered a flavor of Gatorade I could willingly swallow. Like that stuff
Orange.
is
I can
so
do orange.
filthy.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
a big
That's what got me
Gatorade
through
fan
Friday
either.
night. It was like bananas and Gatorade. Here we go.
Because I one time I was really drunk. It was one time.
One time?
And I
Must
was
have been horrible for
possibly
you.
vomiting in front of Hamburger Mary's and several other lovely establishments in
Maybe.
the downtown area.
Oh,
Maybe.
good times.
And some friends took me to a 7-Eleven, and I was like, I need water. Like, you need to get me water.
Mm-hmm.
And this person just doesn't drink water and just assumed that no other human could ever swallow water. So went in and brought, like, all these different drinks. And I'm like, all I wanted was water. And he's like,
Right.
well, you didn't mean water. You just meant you wanted something to drink. I'm like, no, I
No,
actually
you
need you to
water.
get
It
water.
literally meant water.
And so I drank, like, I threw up every single thing he brought. That poor guy's car. I still feel bad. Because it was like projectile. It wasn't like polite young girl vomiting. It was like,
no,
"Ah."
So now Fireball also has
antifreeze.
antifreeze
Yeah,
in it, but,
sure does.
but we don't bring that up and worry about
Oh,
it.
I also
Gatorade, oh my
I've never
God.
I
heard
also don't
that.
drink
Yeah.
Fireball.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
either. I don't
Oh.
either. But I know some people that do.
I don't think I've ever had Fireball.
Well.
Is that the one that tastes like cinnamon? Smells
Yes.
like cinnamon?
Yeah.
Feels like
Yeah.
cinnamon?
Awful.
Yeah.
feels like
It's
a
not
punch in the
awful.
throat. Oh God, it's awful.
Jack Fire is awful.
Oh, I haven't had
It's
that
the
one.
Jack Daniels version of the same thing.
Oh,
but it,
sweet
but
Jesus.
it, but
Yeah.
it
Why would you
still,
do that to whiskey?
But it tastes like
'Cause it's a
Jack
whiskey.
Daniels, and
Fireball's
I
a whiskey.
hate Jack Daniels.
I'm not
Fireball's a
fan.
whiskey?
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
cinnamon
What the fuck
whiskey.
is wrong with German people?
So that was my favorite part
German
of
people didn't
Brendan
do this.
Robbins'
American
ceremony.
people did this.
Well,
America.
their reception at the house. That Aaron kept going up, and there were a couple of family members of Brenda's that were handing her shots of Fireball and telling her it was schnapps. So
Oh, no kidding.
she was putting it back.
Oh, yeah, because 7 shots of schnapps is going to be fine,
exactly.
too. Yeah.
But still,
I think the
compared-
proof of Fireball is a little
Potato.
higher than schnapps.
Fuck, a lot.
Oh, it is, but by the
A
time you get
lot.
to your 7 shot, you're still throwing it. You're just drinking maple syrup
Yeah.
with a minty flavor.
Yeah.
And
Well,
a
she
ki-
drank
and
it
a
a couple
kicker.
of times, not thinking about it, and then said something about being schnapps, and I just burst out.
Oh,
I thought,
dear.
you poor little delicate flower.
Where's Robin?
Yeah, right. That's so not. That's not what it is.
The other thing I did today, and Kat surprised me, she walked in with her own. I don't know if anybody out there, well, if you're local, you probably hear about it. Red Nose Day.
Yeah.
Which, it actually, here's a little slide that goes along with it. There's Red Nose
I
Day.
have a bunch of these.
There's that.
That's
And then this is the cast of the NBC's Today Show, all wearing their red noses.
That's
But
right.
I bought 4 of them, but I didn't know if we could make it through the show with the noses on or how it was going to
Possibly.
work. Now, Kat already fears that hers is going to fall into her beer.
Yeah, but then I decided to
Oh,
drink
no,
the
I
beer
can't
before
do
I
that.
got here. Yeah, no,
Why?
No, I can't breathe.
It is a little restrictive, isn't it?
It
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
needs to be on
Oh, but if you do it
edge.
the other way.
Now, who's giving us money for this?
Nobody's giving
Put it on
anybody
the
money.
edge.
I bought these at Walgreens today.
we're doing this for free.
It's-
now.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a charity thing.
No,
is
it
a
is.
charity.
It was. These are $1 a piece, and it goes against child
But the-
poverty.
But the money's already been spent, so we're good.
Oh, yeah, I
I'll
was.
wear it as a hat.
Which
Ooh, I didn't think of
actually
that.
I
is-
thought about like olives on my fingers.
I'll do,
Ooh, those are big pimentos.
what was in living color?
Oh, that's funny.
Men on film.
Men on film.
Yeah, you look
Hated it.
You can be Homie the Clown.
Homie, don't play that.
Homie don't play that.
Oh, I like the red accent in your hat and your little voting thing.
I gotta like
We're
that.
matching all kinds of strange things
Look at
today.
you.
Glasses, t-shirts, voting
I
stickers,
like it. Hi,
All these
Harrison.
things.
red
Oh,
noses.
look at that. That goes perfectly right there.
I
I
like
wonder where
it.
mine can go.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's put a red nose on the beaver.
Okay.
Well,
I feel like
oh, look, it's a helmet.
It looks like a big
it
red
looks like
afro
a, it
on
looks
the
like
beaver.
a penis. Is
I'm
what that
afraid
looks
to look,
like.
but I'm strangely
Actually,
drawn
it
to
does.
it.
That's a good call. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. That's a good call. It was a big penis. That's true.
The beaver just changed. It's transgendered now.
Oh, look, mine
Trans beaver.
peanut
Trans
beaver.
beaver.
mine goes there and it stays in the shot. That's good. We'll stay there.
Nice.
It's good work.
Very nice.
I like it.
It's also a safety thing so Kat doesn't run into it and gouge an eye out.
Oh, because that would be
And
terrible.
it keeps deer from running in the window too, and I think that's important.
Oh, of course it is. I don't have a lot of problem with deer in the house.
No, so the outside comes
I don't
in.
like a leak in my soup either.
Oh, that's
Totally
nice.
different
Look, I could put one right there.
stuff. Yes. Oh my God. Well, I think we've
like
done
it.
enough catching up. We're going to come back with headlines right after this. It's Q Talk America.
You're listening to Q Talk America.
Are you ready for this? It's a 30-second dance break.
This is the Q Talk America Radio Network.
Alrighty, kids, here we go. Headlines on a Tuesday night. It is the 17th of May, 2016. This is show 262. Welcome to it. Well, she just up and died.
Rage yoga.
Maps are hard.
He's a vile son of a bitch.
Another bathroom issue.
Florida lesbians.
What did the TSA find in your bag?
This is all about the BBC.
And an Arkansas judge resigns after spanking photos emerge. These and other titillating stories coming at you right now. Hello, Harrison.
Hey, Amina.
Oh, heaven's sakes
Fantastic.
alive. Well, Sometimes voting for a third-party candidate just isn't a strong enough statement to get your point across. A Virginia woman's obituary says that rather than vote for Republican nominee Donald Trump or Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton for president, she died.
Wow.
There you go.
I feel like that's the wrong answer.
Yeah.
What a strong stance.
In her obituary posted here, she says, faced with the prospect of voting for either Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, Marianne Noland of Richmond chose instead to pass into the eternal love of God on Sunday, May 15th, 2016, at the age of 68. The obituary published Tuesday in the Richmond Times-Dispatch said, Noland's husband of 46 years, Jim Noland, told local news station WWBT that one of the couple's sons wrote the opening line and it was a tribute to his wife's sense of humor. He added that his wife worked as a wound care nurse, and even after retiring, never stopped caring for others. She died after battling lung cancer, which is unfortunate, of course. As the Washington Post noted in January, plenty of obits this election cycle have made headlines for making political commentary, and a disproportionate number of them seem to be anti-Hillary.
Eternal for the love of God.
That is really a great line. What was it good?
That's funny.
Where did it go? She faced with the prospect of voting for either Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, Marianne Noland of Richmond chose instead to pass into the eternal love of God.
Marianne,
If you're listening,
She is. She's with us everywhere.
two things.
love is two things. Yes.
I feel like abstaining is the wrong answer in
Almost
any
always.
election.
Right?
Sex.
Pick a side.
Elections.
Right.
Abstinence isn't going to get you anywhere.
Abstinence isn't helping you.
Well, pregnant in Alaska. It seems to get you that way a lot.
You need to pick a side here, friend. Number two, I appreciate that your kid thinks that this is funny, but he probably is also going to be like, "Well, I don't want Hillary or Trump, so I'm not going to vote." I feel like
There is a
the wrong
libertarian.
message
There is a
being
libertarian
sold. There will be a
candidate,
third party, yeah.
and I think she's done. She's finished and she's
she done?
in. I believe it's a woman that's running, and so far I like her better than Bernie Sanders. I've seen a couple interviews. She's been getting some interviews because she's the only person that can be on all 50 states ballots.
Oh, okay.
for
Because
her.
an independent run right now would take too much money and too much time to get the signatures to
Well,
get
and
on all
I think
50
that
states.
there were some cutoffs to
Yeah,
a couple of the states.
To a couple of the
Deadlines,
states,
yeah.
but so
On
if
the
there is
15th, I
a
think.
third person out there, libertarian candidate. I want to say her name is Lori.
Lori the Libertarian.
Oh, that's nice. I like
I
alliteration.
like it.
I like
That's-
alliteration
that's
as
good.
well.
That's good.
But I don't remember. But I enjoyed her.
You ready to go, Right? Go for it, girl.
I am.
All right.
So, rage yoga makes me so happy.
Rage
because
yoga.
yoga itself gives me rage. Meditation,
So that's
any
that's
kind of
supposed
stuff like
to.
that. I've tried this, right? Where the downward dog, nobody wants my ass that high up in the air. Unless I'm in like a.
How do you know?
I'm just saying. I feel fat.
Can we
rather
phone a
confident.
friend on this and see what Aaron thinks about it?
No. Well, maybe one friend. But this was something. When I saw this, we had a thing at work where they had a person come in for meditation. They were doing this, for the managers and getting us all calm and zen and bullshit.
Okay.
And that did not work.
I think that's
sat
part of your
there-
attitude problem right there.
I think so as well. I sat there and like, for real, like, can we? She's like, now everyone, please take a seat.
I'd have shot her.
Oh, you have no
And I didn't even have a
idea.
gun.
She's like, now I would like you to pass a raisin around, please.
What?
What?
Hold the raisin. Hold the
that a
raisin.
euphemism?
Oh, I think you said
No.
razor.
No.
We're gonna
This raisin.
shave together.
No, and then it was look at the raisin. Take a look at the. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna fucking punch you in the throat. Is what I'm gonna do.
Oh, yeah.
She had me like real angry. This was not meditation, but nothing. So
was
I didn't like
frustration.
It was frustration.
Got it.
So I'm not a fan.
Okay.
But then I saw this. Inhale, exhale. It's time for yoga. Okay, fine. Yoga is a physically, mentally, and
Sorry.
I'm not here.
Telephonically interruptive.
Exactly. Yoga is a physically, mentally, and spiritually relaxing activity that makes you strike poses and feel good about yourself. Traditionally, yoga is seen as a meditation ritual that encourages tranquility. But now, thanks to Rage Yoga, those thoughts have been turned upside down. Word
Rage
dog.
yoga.
I do appreciate that. Rage Yoga is a new wave of yoga classes defined on their website's homepage as, this sounds like something for all of us right in here, a practice involving stretching, positional exercises, and bad humor, with the goal of attaining good health and become zen as fuck. Sounds brilliant. I'm on board.
Is that
Listen,
is that a
I'm like
pamphlet?
Lone Star because I'm already there.
I'm on board. I'm on board. Lindsay Marie Eistes, Rage's founder, created the classes as a getaway for those who want to say namaste, but never felt like they fit into the conventional ways of regular yoga classes. What makes her courses different? It gets better, I swear to God.
Okay.
Located in the basement of a pub, Isis gives each of her students 2 tickets, both good for a $4 pint of beer. She also encourages foul language, laughter, and shenanigans.
I'm on board.
And says, if these offend you, Rage Yoga is not for you. I thought this is our like spirit animal.
Where is she?
I'll have to look that up further.
I'm like, I wonder if
Canada.
Oh, shit.
But it's fine.
We could
It's fine.
have her stop by, or maybe we could get her to phone in.
Maybe we could.
That'd be
It's not a bad idea. We'll have to get Richard to check it out. What makes so it's just fantastic. Once you get past the alcohol and cursing, the class starts. The class starts and ends with a calming moment, and is based off a certain style of yoga.
I think
that's
I just found
completed at a slower pace.
I think I just found a new tagline for this show.
Once you get past the alcohol and cursing,
And the screaming. Well, when you get to that part in yoga where you do the child's pose, I call it like muffling the scream in the floor. Put your face in the mat and scream in pain.
Yeah. Before you sign up, you should know that the classes are currently located in Calgary, which is in Alberta, Canada.
Okay.
Don't lose hope, though. Thanks to her Kickstarter campaign that did wildly well, she's receiving funding to start making online classes that will be available in the next few months.
Oh, because that's what you want.
Keep an eye out for, well, it's drinking with all of us
Right,
right now.
right.
Like online, I like it.
It's not as funny.
Not even close. So she's received funding, and so the classes will go online. Keep an eye out for updates and announcement that she'll have on this blog of hers that we can put in the chat room if people want. So once those are up and running,
RageYoga.com, as you would expect.
I don't know that that's her
I'm
blog.
on her website.
I don't think that's her blog, though.
There's a link to her blog at the very top of her website,
okay.
yeah.
So once those are up and running, you'll be able to do yoga while you say namaste at home.
Oh, that is too
I'm
funny.
actually going to keep an eye on this. I'm actually at a point where if I don't start with about 20 minutes of yoga, I don't move in the morning.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like I wake up like Frankenstein, and
Right.
I literally have to methodically kind of stretch it out.
Right.
Well,
right.
no,
My
That'd be
creaks
good,
and groans
yeah.
have almost a musical quality now.
in a stroke of irony,
Boom! Go the cannons.
in a stroke of
Good
irony,
night. Good night, Letitia.
Yeah,
Thanks
it's
for
good,
joining
Letitia.
us.
in a stroke of irony, if you would not have squelched the Wi-Fi for your 10-year-old, he'd show you how to bounce out of bed and be up and live. But
Yeah,
no,
there you go.
no,
I'll bounce him the fuck out of bed.
That's fantastic.
Is the house on fire? Are you out of fire?
Right.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Right? That's fantastic. It's good stuff.
Yeah, did you friend request
the
her
amount-
too? You should get on that.
Oh, I totally should. What is her name again? I'm going to go find her on Facebook.
Her name is...
On the Facebook.
Well, you have it right there, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, in this.
We all have this mutual friend, Kat. None of us know her.
Do you know
that
Kat? Do
is?
you know Kat?
I am the glue that holds the world
I see.
together.
Together.
Oh, there is
It's
that.
true.
Well, in this modern day of technology at our fingertips, and the fact you can Google things and find out maps really hard. Maps are hard to put together. And we'd recommend that USA Today grab some technology because, well, this is where it all started when they did a Colorado marijuana smuggling map and used the state of Wyoming as...
Nice.
Oops.
In its recent story about marijuana smuggling in Colorado, the paper got its states mixed up. The piece on the pot traffickers included a map that incorrectly identified Wyoming as Colorado.
Oh, and it's the USA Today, the nation's McPaper.
McPaper. Quote, but marijuana remains illegal in every state surrounding Colorado, and law enforcement in those neighbors are looking for it, reads the text around the graphic. However, the dark blue state in the image that is supposedly supplying bud to surrounding states is not Colorado.
No. That's
So-
why I looked
Now,
up and
what's
I
to
thought...
stop the good people of Idaho from walking left and getting
Yeah.
some from Oregon and Washington? It's legal in Oregon and Washington, right? All
yeah,
three
I
states?
I believe so,
Yeah.
yeah. Map maker Janet.
Nothing.
So when are we going to Oregon and Washington?
Map maker Janet Lork was a little higher than she should have been in identifying the location on the state because Wyoming is above Colorado. That means she's higher, not like stoned. Naturally, social media loved this mishap and ran away with it, starting with this one. This one here saying that geography is obviously very hard for the folks at USA Today who have totally mislabeled the map, marijuana smuggling from Wyoming. Then another tweet was from this guy saying that Colorado has been moved to Wyoming's map due to map maker smoking too much Colorado pot. And even the Wyoming...
I thought it was in Wyoming.
And even the Wyoming News got on board today saying the USA Today map blames Wyoming for Colorado's marijuana smuggling problem.
If you start in the wrong state.
Oh, yes. I don't know how she did
Denver's
that.
not here, man.
Can't find it anywhere.
Dude,
Everyone
where's...
Dude, where's my car? Everyone,
Dude, where's my state?
everyone keeps saying Omaha or something.
Hey, USA Today, it's me, Denver. Denver's not here, man.
Are you hungry?
I got bison burgers.
That's good.
Oh,
Mix them with French fries so they taste like something.
Martin, go ahead, babe.
Well, this is certainly not as fun story. But the idea that America's most vile man,
No.
and I'm not talking even about the Donald, I'm talking about George Zimmerman.
Uh,
I really wanted to save this for bullshit, but there were too many other things coming for bullshit.
Okay.
But the fact that he could go on,
I can't imagine why meditation's not working out for you.
not even a little bit.
I'm drawing a blank. I'm searching and I'm searching.
I try.
It's like when I go looking for quiet places.
Can't find them.
as long as you're there.
There's Al Perkins going, won't anybody stop talking?
Why isn't this the quiet place it was supposed to be? What changed once I got here?
God, she's
John
so
Oliver
angry.
went
And why does no one like my bell?
Put your thing on that on the right here.
John Oliver went flying, and his yarmulke
Right there,
fell off.
the wing nut on the top of the microphone.
Your
I have a
wing
wing nut?
Yeah,
look at
wing
that.
nut.
There you go.
There you go.
I love this shot with all the look at our little noses all over the. It's like Rudolph is everywhere.
I know.
Well, so did you guys hear about the initial auction? that
Yes.
he had?
Yes.
And how people were creating fake accounts so that, and it was up to some obscene amount of money
So that no one would buy it.
so that no
Oh,
one would buy it.
okay.
And so he has a second auction.
Okay.
And basically, no one has bid on it. He's starting it out. It's the gun. For those of you that aren't familiar with this, George Zimmerman is an awful man who killed a young man named Trayvon Martin
over Skittles.
over Skittles
And iced tea.
Yeah.
because he had a black hoodie on
Yeah.
and he was, dangerous. The gun is now up that killed him. He was found to be not guilty for killing him, it had been up to X number millions of dollars in the first auction.
Didn't you want to be in his house when he thought he was going to get millions of
Oh my
dollars
God,
for it?
wouldn't that have been great?
Didn't you want to sit there with him like, ooh, I'm going to
Because he's
millions.
so awful. Well, it's now he's trying to find a new site to sell the gun, and he's starting it out for $5,000, and there has been no bids, which I'm happy about.
Right.
I mean, it
Because it's got it. Like, what in the...
startles me that someone
He did hide the
isn't-
bells.
I did.
You're a dirty fucker.
I know. I was looking for.
We've only got.
I'll get you, my pretty.
They're-
Find them.
those.
It
Yes,
only took
Aaron.
an hour to find out. That's a good job, guys.
Hey, Nat.
I have one.
Aaron is so caring that he actually set a reminder for like Wednesday or Thursday in the middle of the day. Text me, go hide the bells, and I did.
I can hear the
Oh, that's
bells.
funny. We should talk about Veep. Let's talk about Veep now, just for Aaron. But the fact
Spiteful.
that
I'll do it.
Yoga's working out well.
don't think
This
I'm
is
not
really
relaxed.
fucking with my chi over here, guys.
All I feel is Zen coming off you.
Hey, I
smells like
exude-
Zen, yeah.
I exude the Zen.
This smells like middle-aged spirit.
You're getting bitter all over my chupacabra over here.
Hey.
Chupacabra.
I don't know, whatever
Now
they
we're
call that
seeing
yoga
ghosts.
stuff.
Hey, nice chupacabra. Thanks. Just had it stuffed.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But the fact that people aren't bidding on it, and the people that did legitimately bid, a number of them that were like, nope, we'll pay. And as it kept going up, and they didn't realize that it was fake names,
Okay.
they were going to buy it so that it could just be
Out of the public.
out of the,
Done.
the
Yeah.
public,
Right.
just done.
Melt it
and,
down. Be
yep,
done with it.
so that no one could make any further
Sure.
money off of it and whatnot. But to imagine being that family, Trayvon Martin's family, it just astounds me that we're able
I
to
agree.
do those kind of things, and that this person
Mm-hmm.
it would be able to go on. And when I heard millions, I'm not going to lie, I went, oh my God.
Yeah. Who?
I really thought that
What crazy person is out there?
What crazy fucker is Ted Nugent's at it again? You know, so it was astounding.
Yeah, I agree.
But anyway,
It was sickening,
Just
and
kidding, Aaron.
I hope that I did.
I'm not.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, now the way that it went with a local story that was here in Phoenix that made a lot of national news, Jodi Arias, who was convicted and is currently serving her, I'm assuming, never-ending life sentence. There was a stipend put in not a stipend. There was a whatever. It was put in place
Stipulation.
Stipulation. Thank you. That she couldn't profit off of anything to do with the case.
Right.
Book
Almost all
deals.
convicted criminals
Okay.
can't make
But
a profit,
he's
but he
not
got convicted.
Fuck.
right, because
I totally forgot about that.
Because as long as he is obeying the letter of the law, his personal firearm sale will be permitted on this network for the network we should avoid. Well, not like any of us are going to be on gunbroker.com, but if we were...
Not today.
Not today. Not today, Berta.
Not today, Bernie.
But it is something that because he was found not guilty,
Yeah,
he's
he can-
able to... He's any of us being able to do that.
That's
And he's
ridiculous.
been like
Yeah.
arrested and taken in for like every
Right.
single fucking
Right.
Oh,
dirty
and
Domestic
douchebag
violence
thing.
Right.
and guns.
Violence and
yeah, there was other
guns
things
and-
after the fact of the whole
Yeah.
trial. Just ridiculous.
Yeah, he certainly has. His acquittal was in 2013, and it sparked civil rights protests. The courtroom controversy on social media after bragging about the killing, like there was a ton of controversy with that because he did. I mean, he's been.
Oh, and you know,
poking
I
the
was
bear.
at my niece's graduation. My cousin was like,
Oh, that's right.
"Well, you know, he was stoned." Trayvon Martin.
Oh.
And I was like-
that's his fault. Yeah.
I was like, and now we shoot people for
Yeah.
being
Being
stoned?
stoned?
And he's like, well, people get violent. I'm like, everybody at
Yeah.
this party, except for my sister Debbie, has been high before. I'm assuming. I mean, Debbie, I knew she hasn't, but the rest, yes.
You see a lot of violence in that family?
Yeah,
No?
I'm like, no.
a lot
Loud.
of snacking and
Yeah.
loud.
Haven't walked past a plate of macaroni and cheese in 50 years.
And you know what? Not that
Oh,
not
that
that I
sounds
need
delicious.
to. I do want to stick up for this site, though, as silly as that might sound. But gunbroker.com, I am stepping back from that. My apologies. I read that too fast. The auction site gunbroker.com took down the listing, citing they didn't want to have anything to do with it. My
Okay.
bad. He's now selling the gun on unitedgungroup.com. So that's the one to
I would still
avoid.
think that it's a fuck them for even helping to facilitate this.
Well, they didn't realize it. They weren't. I don't think they.
Oh.
You know, it's just a thing, and there's
You have a screen
a
name, you're
website,
selling a
right,
gun,
right,
nobody knows
right.
what it is.
And then
Yeah.
when they realized what it was, they
That's
kind
just-
of went, "Whoa, no, hell
Yeah,
no,
no, hells
we're
no."
not going to be a part of that."
We don't want to get in that that
Right.
soup.
We don't want that shit show. So
Yeah, not doing that.
yeah. Anyway, but good. So that is now. No one's showing any interest.
Well, as it should be. I think so.
I agree.
For those of you still listening, you're probably not showing any interest either, but we're going to continue on. We have 2 more hours of fun-filled entertainment
Lucky you.
coming at you, whether you like it or
Ruh-roh.
not. Oh, this little crossover coming right back. Al Perkins is going to give us our drinking word, and I can't even imagine what it will be. But we'll find out. Stick with us. We'll be right back with more headlines and a whole bunch more coming up right after this.
You've been listening to The Show on Q Talk America. This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. The show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's the show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
Hi again, everybody. Welcome back. It's the beginning of hour 2 on this, our Tuesday night gathering. It's the show on Q Talk America. I'm Clayton McKee alongside Marnie Ryer, Kat Carlson, and Al Perkins. I don't know why I said that out of order, but I did. Who fucking knows? I don't really care. Anywho,
I was very confused.
I was too for a
Don't do
second.
it again.
My mouth was growing faster than my brain, which is most often the case.
My life.
I think it's yoga. It's fucking me up. I think it's
I'm
really what it is.
telling you.
Just a guess.
Zen.
Anyway, what we're going to do now is do our drinking disclaimer so Al can give us our drinking word, and it goes something like this.
Namaste.
And now, a drink along. We dare you to stay awake during this royalty-free music and to play a drinking game with us. If you are currently or soon to be driving a car, you cannot play. If you are presently the primary caregiver for children and or the elderly, you may desperately want to play, but no. If you are listening from a rehab facility, you are disqualified because you already hit bottom. And that means you already won this game at least once. If playing this game is in any way illegal for you, put the bottle down and make better life choices. There is no good in your goodbye, and there is no lifeguard on duty, so you will be swimming at your own risk. Tell your lawyer to take the fucking day off. You can't sue us. We warned you. Good luck.
Well, our drinking word has to be namaste,
Namaste.
which I'm assuming is Chinese for fuck you.
Nope, it's Marty.
Which
for
seems
fuck
legit
you.
to me.
Exactly. If I'm using it in context.
I really do like
Namaste.
that application of
That's
namaste.
good.
Namaste is our drinking word.
Yeah, I like
All
it.
right. Oh, as we continue on, it's me, right?
Yep,
You
it
got it. Well, I think we got a guy here that may have overreacted, and I'm going to tell you the story, and you all make your own decision. A Connecticut man is behind bars after being accused of shooting up his neighbor's bathroom because the person using it was just taking too damn long, according to NBCConnecticut.com.
Judges rule. I'll allow it.
Sean Cummings, 22 years old, was arrested early Sunday morning after Vernon police got a call about a highly intoxicated man at a local apartment complex. Cut to picture of 22-year-old Sean Cummings. Responding officers said Cummings was outside and highly intoxicated, but was taken into custody without a struggle. According to the Hartford Courant, probably because he just fell down, is going to be a guess. Police said Cummings went over to his neighbor's apartment to hang out around 2 a.m. Always a good idea in an apartment complex. At some point, he became upset because someone wouldn't get the hell out of the bathroom, according to Fox61.com.
Shitter's full.
Shitter's full. Cummins allegedly...
Hey, Clark.
K Clark, beauty clerk. So Cummins apparently... God.
That's the best use of that word ever. Shitter's full. Namaste.
Namaste. Cummins allegedly showed his displeasure by taking out a 9mm handgun out and firing one shot into the closed bathroom door. The bullet barely missed the person inside on the shitter, police said. I added that. The occupants of the apartment then yelled at him to leave. Cummins went outside and shot another round into the outside wall of the apartment complex, according to Pat, Connecticut, whatever the fuck that is. No one was injured in the incident, according to the news release. Police said Cummings had a valid Connecticut pistol permit and that his gun was registered. Officers seized the handgun as evidence as well as his pistol permit. Cummins' apartment was searched after detectives got a search warrant. They ended up seizing a .45 and a 12-gauge shotgun. Cummins has been charged with a variety of crimes, including unlawful discharge of a firearm, first-degree reckless endangerment, and disorderly conduct.
Oh,
Cummins
I was really hoping it was there.
Cummins was
I
being
know.
held. He's being held on a $20,000 cash bond and is due for arraignment in court next Monday.
Namaste.
Wow, namaste.
Oh,
Namaste.
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 Well, if the shitter wasn't full before the gun went off.
Now it's just going down my pants.
Yeah. It's just running down my leg.
It sure was afterwards.
I couldn't go before, but all of a sudden,
Namaste.
Namaste.
Boom.
Now my
Wow.
boom.
Okay.
All right. Florida teens.
Oh,
I
Florida.
love Florida. For this
Blame
story,
Florida.
I'm not upset with Florida on this one. Lesbian teens make history by becoming the first same-sex couple to be crowned prom king and queen at the Florida high school.
I saw
Prom
that. That was
royalty.
cute.
Prom royalty,
yeah.
yes.
Let's make it even more annoying.
Brie Grimes, 17, and Lindsay Creel, 18, were named prom king and queen. It's in Tallahassee, Florida, and they are the first same-sex winners. I just thought that was kind of neat.
That's
They praised the school for creating a gay-straight alliance, which is a really big deal in schools. Such a big deal in schools. I really want this to move down, but it's not. So that's why I'm like just waiting patiently. Sorry. I don't know what it is about this room, Clayton, but my computer does not.
You know,
like to work in
at the
here.
high school level, a gay-straight alliance can be really impactful.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
like kids are still
Very.
impressionable enough and like still figuring stuff out. A gay-straight alliance can really kind of bridge that gap between.
And offering anybody a safe place to go. And
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, we called it drama club, but I'm sure they.
We called it the West parking lot with weed, but
Yeah.
Well,
whatever gets you through high school, because high school's a
It
tough
turns out I
time.
belong to several then.
You know, and they've started.
If the weed people in the parking lot were a gay straight alliance, then fuck yeah.
The weed people didn't give
that
a
was
shit
3
what you
clubs.
did.
I should have been in that. I should have been in that yearbook more times.
Well, and they've started.
Those fake Dungeon and Dragon fuckers.
The parking lot weed club didn't have a page in the yearbook though.
Oh,
It's a shame, really.
they should have.
Opportunity missed.
Killer hacky sack games going on.
Namaste.
We were totally hacky sack kids and
my
coffee
God,
shop
that's
kids.
such-
Namaste, namaste,
I don't
namaste.
even really know what hacky sack is.
It's this little tiny beanbag about as big as
It's
your
like-
orange.
it's like
that you
this.
just,
And then they just like kick
bouncy.
it or
you just
something.
kick it at each
Yeah.
other all the time, and
Yeah,
you can't
that's
let
when
it
you know
hit
that
the
drugs are
ground.
bad. When you start doing that, you've turned a corner.
So now
You're
I'm
in cough syrup land.
These I just put a link into the
The $5 bill.
the show, the show page,
The Facebook.
on
Okay.
Facebook, so that if you want to try to put that up.
Now I gotta open Facebooks.
Sorry. There were the two of them have been together for 3 years, so I think that was the other part of the story that I really enjoyed, was that it wasn't a short term kind of thing.
Don't they have
That-
sunshine in Florida?
They have sunshine on their shoulder.
No,
Wait till you see the picture.
Nama pasty. Maybe.
I don't know where
isn't
you
that one of
sent
the
it.
Sunshine States?
put
It's
it
on
on
the it's on the
the
news
show.
and stuff show page.
Oh, that page.
Yeah,
That page.
I couldn't send it otherwise. Sorry.
Got it. I gotta find that page.
Anyway, I just thought it was great, and with the gay straight alliance stuff, it's starting actually in junior high now.
That's good.
And especially years ago, like when I would have been in junior high, I would have thought that's absurd. Like it would not have made sense. But now with kids, you know, like Erin having kids coming in pregnant,
Sure.
they're knowing and
Well,
and
there's-
involved.
Right.
There's a lot more world awareness in general of kids, and
Absolutely.
that starts earlier and
Yeah.
earlier
Oh,
as they get up
couldn't
at
be
5
any
a.m.
fucking
to-
cuter.
I know.
Jesus
I think they're
Lord.
adorable. I think they're absolutely adorable. And
I would have voted for them for whatever they were running for.
But it's something that now that it's going back to sixth grade might be a little early of a start, but sixth grade, seventh grade,
Yeah.
and eighth grade for sure. They've really
It's in sixth
started
grade. You just
it.
call it an origami class and just
Right.
let the chips fall where
Yeah,
they may.
see what
Namaste. You know what I mean?
happens.
Right.
Yeah, see what happens with it. It's a good call.
If your swan gets turned on by the other swan, then you know it's time to join the Gay Straight Alliance next year.
next year.
I like it. Anyway, a simple sport developed. What? I don't know what that was happening.
Carry on.
What?
Oh,
I
they're
was
talking
trying
about
to figure out.
they're talking about hacky. What's it called?
Oh, hacky
Oh,
sack.
the hacky
yeah,
sack. Oh, okay.
Here's a picture of the cute couple we were just talking about.
yeah. So nice.
Yep.
They're just adorable.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just the fact that it was such a wonderful, welcoming story of that leading to it's not a big deal and this shouldn't be a story.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I think was the fantastic part of it. When I read it, and the kids,
And though the blonde's in heels, she's still a tall girl.
she is a tall girl.
And I would
Yeah.
like to comment. I mean, just
The teeth?
apropos of nothing. How much but how much I enjoy
I enjoy the.
the king's earrings. Those are just delightful.
Oh, all right.
Oh, I think those things frighten the shit out of me.
Coming up,
I was
a new
gonna say, are you a
segment
fan
from
of
Al
the
Perkins
gauges?
called Fashion.
No, absolutely,
The
like not
gauges,
at all. But
it
those are the first
scares
ones I've
me.
ever seen that were kind of attractive.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, those just scare the shit out of me.
Oh, I do too.
That's because I
You're gonna have big
stubbed
giant
my
holes
toe
in your
and-
ears for the rest of your
well,
life.
And I stubbed my toe and I have to have it amputated. So, I mean, I'm kind of a pansy.
She's down to 6 toes.
Zen as
pansy.
fuck.
All right.
That's all. Now I'm a fucking stay.
I feel like we got
Namaste.
lost.
We did on like 17 different things, but some of them are delightful.
But it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it is a story from Florida and no one got arrested. So that's the bonus. It's
No
just a
criminal
pleasant-
I don't believe it's
I
Florida.
don't think it's real.
I don't believe it's Florida.
Liars.
No
Liars.
criminal mischief.
Tallahassee.
Don't know what the hell that's
untrue. Anyway, please, sir.
All right. Well, in our final headline story, but we have so much to talk about.
Really?
for the
We're on
rest
our
of this-
final headline?
I was going to say that was very fast. I don't know
Well,
what we're
because
gonna do
you
the
all
rest
didn't
of the-
interrupt us all this week. Well, we don't know if it's
Wait, can I interrupt?
Yes. Is there still time?
Two things.
we don't know if officials can deliver on promises to make airport security lines move faster, but this prank at least showed them how to spice it up a little bit. Some pranksters packed a dildo into their unsuspecting friend's carry-on luggage at Ohio's Akron-Canton Airport recently and watched the fun when a TSA agent pulled it out of the bag in the security line. In a YouTube video posted May 11th, radio personality Will Burge wrote, quote, "My buddy was headed to his bachelor party in New Orleans. It was his first time flying, and the thing he was most worried about was airport security. Thankfully, the TSA agent had a sense of humor. As for the duped passenger, hopefully he will remember to place the dildo in its full, upright, and locked position." Well, I take that back. You have another story. I have another story. I thought that was my last
No,
story.
that's okay.
Continue.
That's okay. That reminds me of Bridesmaids.
It's actually really
Rip his
funny because
ass
I always
apart.
thought that was kind of an urban legend.
Oh, actually, if you Google it, there's actually a YouTube video where they're shooting footage of the TSA agent actually taking it out of the bag.
And I didn't think TSA would let you actually shoot video of them.
Well, I'm not.
I thought-
Yeah.
Somebody
Maybe
to come
they
and like
didn't
tackle
know.
you for.
I mean, it could have been looking like they were just texting, you know.
Oh no,
Sure.
they both. And just the chat room is talking about the teeth situation. Both had lovely teeth in the pictures that
both
I was
did.
looking at.
Mhm.
Yes, both
Yeah.
fine, healthy teeth.
So maybe Harrison's
And
right,
it-
and you're right, and it's not Florida.
Yeah.
But it said it.
Moral of the story is
Oh, there's a moral.
the old dildo in the luggage trick works.
The old
know.
dildo on the luggage trick.
It's good to know.
So we were on our way to Vegas, oddly, to see Barry Manilow, who was lovely, and
Looks like we made
Miss Joan Green. We did. Miss Joan Green
Yeah.
went and was with her partner, and they
Had a dildo in the
they had
luggage.
Yeah.
the dildo.
Yeah.
In the,
Did they get stopped?
I got a dildo in
Well,
the luggage.
we're going
dildo
through it,
in
we're
the
like-
luggage.
I'm thinking, what the fuck is that sound? Because we all like,
What does it sound?
What is that sound? It was on.
Somebody's teeth getting chipped?
It was on in her
Oh.
carry-on. I was laughing so
And there was
hard.
a group namaste.
So we didn't think anything of it. Mom and I were like, what the fuck? But okay.
Portions of the trip sponsored by Everready?
Yeah.
We get to the hotel and the two of them are laughing so hard and I couldn't figure out what was and apparently it had been on like basically the whole time.
Oh.
And we took separate cabs, so when they got in their cab they're like, what is that?
Oh God.
My dick in
we
a
heard-
box.
Namaste!
Namaste!
But that was fantastic.
Somebody was planning to enjoying Barry Manilow more than the rest of you.
Apparently.
Looks like we made it!
I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
I can't smile.
I'm trying to get the
without
feeling
you.
again.
Yeah, I'm
Jesus
trying. I'm
Christ.
trying, and I tried, and I
Listen,
tried, and I
for
tried.
people that don't travel very often, you don't always want to waste that hotel room.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to waste someone else's
They're not
sheets.
my sheets.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
I asked for 2 queen beds.
Yes.
You
Not
do
just-
the math.
Yeah.
I just asked for 2
So
queens.
tomorrow we can sully that bed.
One for fucking, one for sleeping.
right, right.
legit.
I like that.
Especially if you use a scented lube, then you got to get away from that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, be afraid.
TMI. Well, I think now we've reached what is the last story.
Too much namaste.
TMN.
That's too much namaste.
A judge, an Arkansas judge, resigned this week after investigators found thousands of explicit photos on his computer of men who had come through his courtroom.
Oh.
In 2015, Joe Bachman, a part-time district court judge in
Any
Cross
relation?
in Cross County,
Judges?
was accused of. Oh, actually, I have a screenshot for this one. We're going to use that one.
Oh, Tom of Finland. God
He
bless
was
you.
this judge in Cross County was accused of reducing the sentence of a woman related to a man he had had a long-term sexual relationship with. After a year-long
Can you
investigation.
diagram this for me? I'm already confused.
After a year-long investigation by the state's Judicial Discipline and Disability Commission, though over reports of favoritism emerged for employees of his family members for a man he was allegedly sleeping with and for young white male defendants in general. This was true. The commission found, however, that Bachman patronizes, yells, and screams at female minority defendants, calling several of them stupid in court. At first, he denied the allegations, but when some 4,500 images...
Oh, boy.
4,500 images were discovered on his computer depicting, quote, naked young men bending over after an apparent paddling at his house, Bachman agreed to resign. In a letter from the commission, he is warned not to dispose of the paddle. And I don't know why that's important.
why that's
but
important.
it is. Over the course of 30 years, Bachman also allegedly prescribed illegal sentences, including picking up trash at his home, and coerced men into masturbating on camera in return for forgiving fines or paying legal fees. One man told the commission that Bachman drove him to the courthouse, took him into the courtroom, and told him to strip naked. He then reportedly handcuffed the man and took pictures of him in various positions on the bench.
Well, it was his first modeling job.
He's a criminal.
Everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah, you know, exactly. Namaste. You gotta...
That's right.
A commission member said he's a criminal predator who used his judicial power to feed his corrupt desires. Every minute he served as a judge was an insult to the Arkansas judiciary.
Oh, Arkansas. Beautiful, beautiful
His resignation,
Arkansas.
which also included a promise never to work in the public sector again, will result in the closing of the investigation. However, it is unclear if any of the casemen Bachman presided over will be reopened and revisited.
We need to retry like 100 people.
Diagram.
Now, what do we got?
Man, woman, lots.
What is that?
Okay.
What is that? The taint?
It's a man. No, it's a picture of a man bent over.
Yeah, it is the taint.
That's. Thank you. I'd
So,
like
this
to
is
have a
the judge
screenshot of that. Is what I'd like
attached to
to.
the man who was judging the woman's case, who was known to the man, so she got the leniency.
I gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you screenshot that and send it to me through Facebook Messenger, please? Just to me, because I want people. We got to explain this to people.
Nat, oh God, I would send mail to everybody if Tom of Finland had commemorative postage stamps. I would have pen pals everywhere. Next door.
Well,
Tom of Finland, hot cartoons. How's that possible?
oh, there's
possible.
a guy here in town that always calls. He's nicknamed me Tom of Finland for years. He calls me that. I don't even know if he knows my real name.
Okay.
Every time he sees me, hi Tom of Finland. I'm like, all right,
Just cause.
don't know. I don't think I represent what they're selling, but hey, whatever. As long as you know who I am, honey.
Yeah.
So, just
Do
very...
you know who I am?
Just
Carry on.
quickly, until you get that up.
All right.
No pun intended.
In the full and upright
In the
locked
full
position.
Yeah.
Upright locked position. Namaste. Stay being the operative word. What do you guys think about the Obama coming out for the transgender bathrooms and saying this is going to happen?
Risk. I mean, it's the I have no more fucks to give.
Right.
I love
Totally.
President Zero Fucks.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was one of the.
I think it kind of forces everyone into a court case, and I a little bit think we're turning at-risk children into pawns.
Okay. I actually was wondering what your.
Yeah, like
what
I
your
think
take
that's
on
what
that
this
would
has
be.
come down. It's a pissing contest now. Like if you saw the
No pun
interview with
intended, with the bathroom.
I didn't
Yeah.
think about that. I don't willingly pun.
I know you don't.
I don't willingly.
They
You
have-
should though. 'Cause
they-
you
Puns.
do so well.
There is an interview with the North Carolina governor who was saying that this was the fault of the left. If Charlotte hadn't passed the law forcing this issue, then the right wouldn't have had to have gone to Jesus. That they would have never discriminated against anybody if the left hadn't have given people rights
Sure.
that they had to immediately take away because of Jesus.
Right. Because Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. When you hear about a child being accepted and peeing in peace, you just think, oh my God, where's my Bible?
Right.
Um,
Yeah, that's what I always
That's
think
what
of.
I
Yeah.
think.
So
Sure,
it, it really was a strange thing. And now this Obama thing, you can just see them digging in their heels.
Right.
Fucktard Alabama, Namaste, Roy Moore, and his
Yes.
new butt
This
boy
is
with
Right.
a paddle.
the
Yeah.
best thing.
Well, and that's
Oh, I
what
know
forgot
what I
the
mean? Like,
paddle
you
in
just-
the pictures.
Because this is who's leading Alabama. You have Roy Moore, who can't, who got thrown off
Who
again for the
explicitly
second
said,
time.
"Do not issue marriage
Licenses.
licenses." I don't give a fuck what the Supreme Court
So-
said. Do not.
And so here's this guy worrying about what's going on with harming children and being a predator, and a judge,
God.
a conservative judge, who I'm sure in Alabama, is beating boys and making them pose for porn to get them off while yelling at women. You know what I mean?
Right.
Here's the guy you got to worry about. He's over here, sir.
Yeah.
But they're gonna and all these.
That's what they call a predator.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
Tom.
have the link. They have the links up there.
Oh, so I mean, it really does kind of disgust me that this, and the point to what I was saying was that the argument is turning the kids into the pawns in this, and now there's these kids being taunted in schools
Right.
because their parents are saying they're evil. So like, not only the kids trying to use the right bathroom, but now they're just being mocked for another reason.
Right.
Like, there's just no love of children in any of these stories.
So for those of you who are following along on the headline story about the judge who was caught paddling and stripping down people, blah, blah,
Had photos of it. Yeah.
Kat Carlson was tasked with drawing a flow chart for this to help Al understand it. And what we're going to show you now is said
Q Talk
flow
America's
chart.
court illustrator.
Right. Yeah. Kat Carlson. So Kat, can you walk us through your image that you drew here?
I feel like it walks itself.
Yeah.
I feel like it looks like a dog.
Not seen a lot of dogs, huh?
I feel like you've got some ugly dogs.
Well, from a
maybe.
certain angle,
Yeah,
that is.
from a
I
certain-
get that. But
yeah, that, you know.
you go. Anyway.
That's exactly
Luckily-
what I was going for.
Luckily,
It
that
walks
was not on
itself.
camera. Namaste, viewers. You're welcome.
Okay, so you start with the judge, and then there's a man.
Well, there's a bit of a love triangle.
Oh, I see.
Because the woman was on trial, but she was
Offered leniency.
offered leniency
Okay.
in exchange for, I don't know, blowjobs from this guy.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Whatever it was, pictures, blowjobs. Who fucking knows?
And then
And this was his first modeling job in that
right.
position.
So the square thing with the dog in it, if you will.
That's a Polaroid.
It's a
for the
picture.
children watching, that's a
Picture.
puppy.
Lots of.
As
lots-
viewed from behind. As viewed from Cleveland.
It's the south end of a northbound dog. So then the lots means that there's.
And his name is Namaste.
and it accumulates into no more job for,
Right.
for
It's
Judge.
a simple flow
south
chart.
view of a northbound dog. That's
Got
fantastic.
it. All right.
Big fan
Up
of
the
the
pooper,
flow
Bob.
chart.
Up the pooper.
The butt ball.
Up the buzz, Bob.
Oh God.
Shitter's full.
Namaste. I'm gonna have to go make myself another cup of coffee, but
Best ever.
but before I do, I think we should get into this little thing, and it's called Entertainment with Al Perkins.
I was entertainment! Imagine my surprise.
Don't choke.
Well, the TV stations, the networks have released their upfront, so we know everything that's been canceled or renewed except for the one show I care about. I have some thoughts on different things, which
have
I'll find
thoughts?
here.
That's weird.
We like thoughts.
Broadway shows. I'll get there in a minute. Stuff is coming back. Stuff's not coming on.
Celine Dion, it's all coming back to us.
And then we
Like
have an
a
update about
Celine
Larry
Dion.
Wilmore on CNN and his no longer friendship
Or
with those
not
people.
not on CNN.
No longer invited.
Yes.
So we'll start on this now.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi Jenny. You may
Been a long
remember
time.
that Larry Wilmore did a. Will you bring my bottle of wine back? Sure. Under your arm. Did his little thing on his little thing on the
Correspondence
Nerd
Center.
Prom Correspondence Dinner, and it was rough. It was very rough, and it was particularly rough on CNN, and didn't go over well in the room due to how personal the attacks were. It was a little much. Parts of it were actually funny. It died in the room, but a couple parts of it
Okay.
made me laugh at home.
I didn't think the guy was funny at all.
Oh, but the thing about Wolf Blitzer standing next to that
Yeah, that
countdown
was
clock,
funny. That was
that's
funny.
the
Yeah.
viewers leaving
Yeah.
was funny.
That was fair.
And even though I enjoy Don Lemon, I do enjoy that people just mock the fuck out of that man. It's getting.
Sure.
Sometimes I laugh at it. Sometimes I'm hurt for him, because sometimes I think he does the stories that no one else can touch or will touch. So at CNN, did they punish a comedian for making some jokes? Larry Wilmore properly rocked the nation when he hosted President Barack Obama's final White House Correspondents' Dinner last month, sparking controversy and generating laughs at the expense of many of the journalists in attendance. One target of Wilmore's spirited comments was none other than Don Lemon, renowned CNN, I don't know if renowned is the right word, host of CNN Tonight. Called him an alleged journalist, and what Don Lemon had a sense of humor and gave him the finger back, like, you know. And there's a picture of the tweeted later. Don Lemon tweeted a picture of him where he comes off as short, and I'm hoping he's not short.
Don Lemon?
Yeah, he's coming across as like way shorter
It does
than.
look real, yeah.
That's kind of upsetting.
Be very sad for you.
Someone at CNN wasn't really feeling Wilmore's jokes. Lemon allegedly personally invited Wilmore to stop by his show the evening of Wednesday, May 4th, to talk about politics and his controversial use of the N-word during the Nerd Prom speech. The appearance was reportedly abruptly canceled by an unnamed CNN producer using the excuse of focusing on the Indiana primary, despite the fact that it had ended a full 24 hours before. I don't know. This seems like a bunch of bullshit because I thought his attack on Wolf Blitzer was way more intense.
Yeah.
And kind of went on and on a little bit.
Compared to Lemon?
Yeah, because Lemon, all he said was there's a
yeah.
lot of respected journalism,
He
black
was all
journalists in the
over
room, and then
Blitzer.
there's Don Lemon
Yep.
and whatever his other joke was. And my thing was I just didn't enjoy the N-word at the end. I don't, not a fan. Confederate
I'm not a
flags,
fan of
N-words,
him.
not a fan.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of him. So,
I like that. I think that show has a very interesting format in that very end part where they sit around and do a little politically incorrect round table of a topic. I find very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his. So I just kind of go, meh,
But he really does forget to be
surprised that
funny.
he was-
Like Stephen Colbert was funny. This is not him putting on a show. It's not an act. And it is more serious. Sometimes it's funny, but most of the time it's kind of like shouldn't be on Comedy Central. It should be like CNN Light. No, they already have one of those. What's it called? Headline News? Yeah.
Oh,
With Nancy
the
Grace.
Anything where Nancy
HLN.
Grace is. Yeah.
Good
Is it a
morning,
shopping network?
sunshine.
Oh, I can't stand that cunt.
Robin Mead? You don't like Robin Mead?
Who's Robin Mead?
That's the
morning,
one, the good morning, the
sunshine.
dark-haired pretty girl who does the
I-
mornings.
Seriously, if Nancy Grace is on a network, I can't do it. And
She's
I-
on at night.
She's on at night. Robin Mead is the one in the morning.
I'll
Does
find.
that.
I'll
Yeah.
find it for you.
I like her a lot.
Oh, you know what?
she's
HLN
cute.
doesn't have a high def channel, so I don't even look. I can't even look for it.
Okay.
I mean, I could, but I don't.
Right.
I'm not going to.
I just those two.
You know, you're not legit if you can't even come up with a high def programming.
Yeah.
Not okay.
But
you wouldn't have
does
to see
anybody
Nancy
Nancy Grace
Grace
in
with
high
it.
def? Yeah,
My
exactly.
God.
Namaste.
This pretty lady
That is the nerd
this.
town,
This
that's
is
right.
Robin Mead from HLN.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yep.
She's very toothy.
Yeah, I feel like she
I
ran
like
for
her.
Miss Something at some point, and her
Oh, I can believe
talent
that.
may have been a baton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
I don't know what she
still
did with it.
using the
Namaste. Yeah.
using the grease on the teeth trick over there.
Mwah.
Taint nobody knows.
Taint.
Yeah, go back to the. Please see the picture.
Yeah.
No,
see,
no
the,
mistake.
see the photo.
C diagram.
Okay,
Wait,
so
this
then a couple
one?
things.
No, not that one.
No,
Okay.
not
that one.
Sorry, my bad.
Tom, if it's strangely erotic, I'm always like half masked. You know what I mean?
Good.
Half-mast. The little general's just saluting. Gotcha. All right.
Saluting, but know somebody's in the room.
Okay. There's that.
So, like, if they're announcing all the cancellations, the new shows for next year. Almost all the networks, I guess, except for CBS, have done their upfronts. They do their big presentation of what they're going to do. But Limitless is the one show hanging in the balance on CBS. And I actually watched that show. It's got Jennifer Carpenter from Dexter, and I rather enjoy it. It's my Tuesday night guilty pleasure. And but they're kind of leaving it in limbo. So unless it's happened like in the last 30 minutes. But I've been checking like every day to find out like what is the fate of this show. Because they ended it nicely. If that was the end, it ended. It was a good series finale, good 18, 19 episode run of a show. Jennifer Carpenter had a job and a baby, so I'm happy.
Oh, okay.
But I would be curious to see where they would go with that, because I actually, like I said, it's one of my guilty pleasures from Tuesday night. Sometimes I rush home from here to watch that. But on ABC, The Real O'Neills did get renewed, because I want that show to like keep going. They're not
Yeah.
quite there yet.
But you feel like they're gonna get
But they're on the right track. And Martha
Alright.
Plimpton, is that her name? Martha Plimpton?
Yeah.
Just fucking funny. Now
She
that
is
this
funny.
is after the
Is that George Plimpton's daughter?
I don't know that. I don't
Look
know.
that up. I'm gonna look
yes.
it
She was because she was in Hope. Raising
yeah,
Hope.
Raising Hope. And she
Yep.
was really very
Yeah.
funny in that. And she's one of those people that, like, who thought of her for comedy? And her and the
Mm-hmm.
gay son have a really fun relationship. It's Dan Savage. It's produced kind of based on his childhood.
Oh, I didn't
but not
realize
set
that.
back in
Okay,
time
yeah.
because ABC already has Just Off the Boat or whatever it's called. That one's
Fresh
set
Off
in
the Boat.
Fresh Off the Boat.
Which I
set
don't
in the
find
90s.
funny at all.
Really? I
Martha-
think that one's kind of
God,
cute.
no.
Martha Plimpton is George Plimpton's
Okay.
daughter.
Yes, yeah.
I did not. I can't get into that.
But and the
Fresh
Goldbergs
Off the
has the
Boat.
80s, and the Goldbergs
Yeah.
is truly my favorite show
I
on
still,
TV now.
I really do. I should go back and find it on demand because I'm from the '80s, and I'm sure I would love every stupid thing they do that I
and-
did.
And they have like they did an interview a couple of weeks ago where they said like that there's no jokes in the third act of that show because they're just going for tears. Like every episode just is very sentimental and how they remember the 80s and like it's always sweet, and then they just throw it back to that goddamn video that really happened in the 80s and you're just completely schmitten with the whole fucking thing.
Schmitten.
And because she's so good, Wendy McKellen-Clevin, I'm making all the right noises. Okay, she appeared on.
I almost said Wendy Jo Sperber.
Last Week Tonight with John Oliver this week.
You'll get there. We'll get there. I don't remember what show.
Oh,
Tom
from
Hanks.
Bosom Buddies.
Bosom Buddies.
I'm like Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Wendy
who was on
McClellan, she was
Okay.
on Last Week Tonight. I don't recognize her outside of that wig. Like, she's got that character so down. And then Bridesmaids was on HBO or something a couple nights ago, and a couple mornings ago, and I was watching it. And I was like 20 minutes in, because I'm like, who the fuck is that woman?
Oh.
She looks familiar, but I can't place her. And I'm like, I watch that show like 3 times a week, but without that wig and that character,
Sure.
like, she's so different, but she
Yeah.
looks exactly the same. But like,
Right.
she's just so good on that. And that got renewed, so that'll be back next year.
Good.
But
Good.
and there's a lot of people crying foul for stupid things, so we're gonna settle some stuff. Scandal is renewed, but it's not on the fall schedule.
Oh.
Everyone's like, oh my God, Kerry Washington's having a falling out. She's pregnant. So
Oh, good.
like they did with
Okay.
30 Rock and Parks and Recreation, that's just going to come in as a mid-season replacement, so they don't have to hide her behind furniture
Great.
to hide her
because
pregnancy.
she wear like the stuff she wears and the everything you can't.
And they already did
There's no way to do
one
that.
season with her pregnant,
They
where she
did.
had to hide behind everything.
Yep.
And it just wait a couple months.
Sure.
We'll be back.
I did not realize that.
What?
I just spit out that name, Wendy Jo Sperber. I didn't know she died
Oh,
in
yes.
2005.
Dead as a
I
doornail.
didn't either.
I just didn't realize.
Finger on the pulse.
No,
ladies and
no
gentlemen.
wonder I haven't seen her in anything for a while.
Died of something kind of horrible.
Well, I'll
If
figure
I
it out.
remember. And then Sleepy Hollow got renewed. This is the show with like
Interesting.
18,000 lives, but they killed off one of the 2 Sleepy Hollows. Like
no.
It's kind of an X-Files kind of show with an X-Files vibe. Well, they killed off the character, and everyone's been crying racism, and they killed off the black character, and what was going on with this. And turns out she wanted out of the show.
Oh, sure.
She was kind of done, and she had a 3-year contract and wanted nothing else to do with the show, so they wrote her off as a series finale because they didn't think they were going to get renewed either, because no one thought they would get a 3rd season.
Well, now they can start fresh with
And
someone
so
new.
out of nowhere, so it's very strange. And there was a little on the Talking Dead at some point. I don't know if it was the Talking Dead for Fear the Walking Dead or The Walking Dead, but they had the girl that plays Nicole. I think her name is Nicole Berry. Her sister on the show was on there, and she's like, "Yeah, we're kind of fucked. If they pick us up, we kind of killed off a couple people because they really did kind of kill off half the cast." And she's
Right.
like, maybe I'll be back next year. I don't know. They
Who
killed off my
knows?
reason to
Nobody
be on the
knows.
show. Like, my sister's dead, but I guess I'm coming on. So but it really is crazy that, like, even they didn't think they were going to be renewed. And then things that are renewed but don't know when it's coming back is the X-Files. Fox Television said, absolutely, we're going to do an X-Files series. Chris Carter, David Duchovny, Gillian Anderson all said, absolutely, yes, we all want to come back, but we're all busy, so maybe a couple years from now.
All right.
Like,
How interesting is that?
put a pin in it.
I didn't. Right.
Well, she's on The Fall. That she does the show that's on Netflix. It's on BBC America in
you talked
Ireland.
about it.
Yeah, really good show that's coming back. So she's got all these projects. Plus, she was in Hannibal all
Right.
3 seasons, playing a
Right.
role that was written for Angela Lansbury, and they just younged her up a little bit and
Well.
gave her a period back. I don't know how
Namaste the
to
shit out of her.
Namaste in Cabot Cove.
They threw a tampon in her purse and made her 20 years younger.
Atta girl.
Wow. What's so absorbing? I don't know.
This whole show. So I just thought that was really funny that everyone agreed that to renew the show, but everybody was like, but not now.
But we're busy.
Next year.
That's fair.
Someday.
Well, people who waited for the X-Files have waited for a long
I know.
time anyway.
11,
So,
12 years
eh.
between seasons. Go ahead. We don't care.
Right.
Plus, they left it on that fucking cliffhanger that, like, absolutely not. You can't end
Yeah.
it there.
Right.
Like, one person's dead in the car, one's about to be kidnapped, and they're like, oh, bye, see it. No.
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 Not okay.
We're not
I agree.
sopranoing this shit. Cut to black. Fuck you people.
Wow.
See, and I was really okay with that. I was like, and done. Whatever.
Yeah, but it was a little, because you knew it was ending. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't like that was the end of the show. You knew it was the end of the show. This was, are you coming back?
yeah.
Done. What's
Like,
going
if
on? Okay,
if
sure.
if they canceled The Sopranos a week after you watched that and you're like, wait, that's what we're left with, you'd be frustrated. But because you knew that was the end, you can make your peace, I think, a little bit easier.
I'll allow it.
then you have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
It's
yes.
kind of you.
Well, had you not,
So Bates Motel. It's not really a horror show, which is kind of disappointing, but it's really, really good. A&E.
you've talked about that.
Vera
one for a long
Farmiga, I
time,
think
too,
that's his
yeah.
surname. Just phenomenal. And like, where are the Emmy voters when you need them? Because this lady is giving it to you. Well, they've gotten it because, you know,
Does she have consent?
spoiler alert.
She'd taint a good actor.
The TV show's going to turn into Psycho, so somebody's got to
Right.
die. So, but you're just wondering, like, are they going to kill off this major character, or will the series end when
With the
Mother
death.
is dead? I don't know. But so, it's a great show. And the season finale, I haven't watched it. It was on last night while I was working, and I was far too busy to watch a TV show, which I was very disappointed in.
Yeah.
I'm like, can't all of you just fall into a coma, including coworkers?
Took me a second. I got there.
I gotta watch just an hour of television. So I can't wait to see how they do the season finale, because they let the penultimate episode, if you will, was just delightful and creepy as fuck, but not scary. Which I'm in the mood for good horror. I haven't seen anything good and scary lately. I haven't sat on my coffee table praying for daylight in a while.
If you went with me to yoga and I had my ass in there,
Yeah.
you'd be scared to death.
Not that kind. I don't want night terrors. Yeah. And then if you're
I'm
watching,
just letting you know.
if you're watching
fine.
Veep, they changed the
Mute
guy.
button.
Yeah, the guy that created the show and did the movie In the Loop, which was so funny with James Gandolfini. He left last year, so they have a new head writer, showrunner, and the tone of that show has changed.
It has a little bit.
So
I
that's
noticed that
now,
too.
instead of her being surrounded by incompetence that keep her from ever being good, they've made her really unlikable.
Yeah, I thought so too. I've been in the 3 episodes. I think that's all that's been on. I've been like, well, now she's just a bitey cunt.
Yeah, like
Except she did have a couple of good lines.
Yeah, I mean, there's been
where
some
I'm like,
funny
yeah.
lines on there, and the insults are still good, but it's not an incompetent staff keeping this person from her
Right.
true potential. She's just the reason why she's. And now you're like, well, God, I hope you don't end up president. Like,
Yeah, right.
But I don't know. Like, are they trying to make her Trump? Like, did they write this in time for her to just be Donald Trump and just be blaming everybody
Okay.
and fucking everything up? Like, is that the point? But
I agree. There have been some funny things.
But there's a real tonal change to the show this year that's kind of like, ooh, I'm not rooting for her at all anymore.
Right.
Which is odd.
Right.
And I feel so weird with my glasses on. Wait, I had one.
I feel like that'll happen when you get a new captain
Yeah,
of the ship,
But
as it
and
were.
it didn't seem to go and transition. Granted, it couldn't transition super slowly, but it wasn't even like you got a hint of it coming in. Like the season was over and then wham.
Yeah,
It's
so
just
if you
different, like,
binge
what?
watch that, you're
Yeah.
gonna feel like a skip in the record. Like
Right.
that's gonna feel like, oh wait, what happened?
Yep.
And they did that with Dexter one year, where they switched showrunners who left to do Nurse Jackie, and all of a sudden Dexter was Batman for a season, because you're like, all right, now
right.
what do you know? Like, what's a secret to Miami traffic that this fucker is now able to be in like 3 places in 5 minutes? Which was that show Stalker last year that I kind of liked with
I
Dermot.
loved that.
Yeah, Dylan McDermott,
Yep.
where they were able to be everywhere in LA in 5 minutes.
I know. Right?
It didn't matter how far away in LA they had to be. The 911
They got a
came
call,
in, and
we're
those 3
there.
people could be there before any squad car in the area.
Yeah.
They could get from
Even
the
though
office.
they were in bed.
Yeah, they could
fast
get down an
asleep.
elevator,
Yeah.
through the parking garage, out of the parking garage, into traffic, around the corner,
Past
down the
their
one-way
own
street.
stalker,
Yeah, past their own stalker.
Yeah.
Like, all that kept bothering me about that show was like, you can't get across the street in under
Right.
30 minutes in LA. Like,
Anywhere.
yeah, and
I
then
mean,
none of
like-
them have navigation. They're not like, wait, how do we get there from here?
Yeah.
Like, which
I
fucking
know
town
this
is
like the
that?
back of my- oh, I know that. I know that.
They're
apartment
always like right
complex.
in the way. And just an update, I was not able to find out who the fuck I was watching be interviewed that claimed to be the libertarian candidate. There is no woman currently running for
You
libertarian.
just made it up.
Some sort of a Daily Show segment you think
So
you may
I
have
was
been
actually
watching?
watching-
I'm glad that you circled back to that, because I looked it up and I was like,
I was clearly watching my Cabbage Patch doll talk to my TV.
I think after your trip from Colorado, you might have been watching some little segment on the Daily Show. And
Was it the gentleman that you were standing in line with when he was going to vote? Maybe
It
he
could
brought
be-
something up.
It could be him.
Could be.
Could
The
be.
libertarian.
All right, so let's check in on politics real quick. So it looks
Hillary
like
won Kentucky.
Hillary won Kentucky,
Yep.
and
By
it looks like
this much of a margin. I mean, it was just.
it was like 45 votes,
yeah,
honestly.
insane.
And it looks like they're calling Oregon for Sanders 53 to 47. So again, he doesn't get his 67% of either state. So the Bernie temper tantrum continues.
Right.
He's just become unlikable. This whole weekend, every weekend, every Saturday, I'm like,
But
I like you less.
Is it Bernie Sanders or is it
His supporters.
The supporters.
But
right.
then he 2 weeks in a row now, he has gone on TV and just.
I haven't seen.
Oh, he was yelling. I just walked through the living room. He's on live.
There's a time for statesmanship, and he's just not able to produce any.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like he's just throwing a temper tantrum.
I made mention a few minutes ago about an actress named Wendy Jo Sperber, who I didn't realize had passed away. And for those of you who don't know, here's an image of her back in the 80s and then later in life. She passed away in 2005 at 46 years old after an 8-year battle with breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Tom
Keep
Hanks.
that up there because on the right, she looks a skosh like America Ferrera.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I see
You're
it.
right.
Yeah.
She was always so funny, though. Great character actor. She was
Very
so funny.
funny, and he stayed close to her up into the end. Like
Tom Hanks did?
Yeah, Tom Hanks and
Scolari?
Holland Taylor was the one that played.
Holland Taylor,
yes.
right?
Holland Taylor.
Who was with your
with what's her butt? It's her girlfriend.
Yep, that one. The one.
Marcia Clark.
Marcia Clark from
Sarah Paulson.
Thank you.
God, we have.
I was busy fact checking something else. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Sarah Paulson's girlfriend Holland Taylor played the sorority, the house mother of.
Does that have to do with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she got some leniency.
Somebody diagram this for me.
But it was a charming story as she died, that her friends were all around her and that she had great support from people she had worked with years before, that they all really did stay close. And Peter Scolari actually is in like different Tom Hanks movies. Like he does appear in parts. Like he
Well, tell me
he always threw him a bone. Yeah.
I don't know
like,
what they're making on syndication from Bosom Buddies, but
the one from it doesn't matter. I just shut up. I can't think of a name.
What?
Richie Cunningham.
Oh, Ron Howard.
Thank you. How he does that to his ugly little brother. God bless him.
Wow.
Well, I was just thinking the throw a bone kind of thing.
Ugly little brother was
speaking of family and fact checking.
Okay.
Sorry.
Wow. I enjoyed that though.
We said earlier that Martha Plimpton was the daughter of George Plimpton. That is not the case. I'm not sure where you got that from. According to Google and Wikipedia, both, she's the daughter of Keith Carradine and Shelley Plimpton. She is a, quote, very distant cousin of George Plimpton and,
that's so weird,
despite the different spelling, cartoonist Bill Plimpton.
Because I literally Googled...
She's Keith Carradine's daughter?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously, that's weird.
According to Google and Wikipedia,
in all these years, how have I never known that?
Because I literally Googled George Plimpton
we all have to pause and Google Martha Plimpton.
Love you.
Okay, and I sit corrected. Because I didn't read the full line.
You're not mistaken.
I literally just Googled George Plimpton daughter. The first thing that came up was Martha Plimpton. And if I had read the whole goddamn thing, it would have told me that Keith Carradine and Shelley Plimpton were her parents.
I think that's pretty
I
wild.
didn't want us to Fox News our way through this, so namaste.
Namaste.
But
my apologies to the affiliates down the line.
I am in total shock that I did not know that Keith Carradine, who is in the greatest season of Dexter that ever was, and was in Fargo, which we absolutely loved.
Mm-hmm.
A man whose career I've been following, and I think he's in the TV show Missing. I mean, he was on Damages for a season, but I feel like he was in that Cold Winter. But I mean, this is somebody who I've known since I'm Easy. He's Oscar nominated for the song I'm Easy from Nashville in the 70s. Not the I'm Easy like Sunday Morning.
I got that.
Yeah, he won an Oscar for I'm Easy in the 70s. And I had no idea
and
they
he's
were...
also Madam Secretary. Is that correct, or is that wrong?
Yes,
the president.
He's the president on Madam Secretary. And he was...
that's why I'm like, wait a minute.
Many years ago, in the 90s, I saw him in the national tour in San Francisco of the Will Rogers Follies, where he does... And please find this on YouTube. It's Favorite Son and the Will Rogers Follies. And it is some of the best choreography ever done. But I've been a fan of this guy, like, literally my entire life.
Okay.
And I had no idea that he begat a charming
I did
actress
not.
name, but I'm
No.
frankly, I'm shocked.
We've shocked Al on this
I am
special installment, this very
like
special
it.
Very
episode.
special episode.
Namaste.
Stuff.
Found it on YouTube. Wait, I gotta add it to my watch later.
Have we
list.
wrapped up your segment, Alfie?
Got
anything else you're gonna throw at us?
Oh no, we got to talk about Hamilton.
Oh my, of course.
All right.
What I'd like you to do, Kat, I'd like you to hold, because you like holding things up at cameras. I figured you'd just like to hold that up to that camera so that people can see.
So close.
Very dramatic. Wait,
Oh, look at it.
I gotta go this way.
Gotta go. You gotta go higher.
Well, there.
There's the Hamilton
go.
CD, double
Oh,
CD
is that
set,
our
boys and girls.
And I have to say,
We are
buy
not
this,
throwing away our
buy
shots.
this. Yeah, I'm not throwing away my shot. Don't. I mean, I know it's going to be like $400 for a couple more years to see this in the theaters. Get this CD though. It is absolutely brilliant, and not just that. And for those of us that have ever like sang in theater, when you get like an exposition song, you're like, that's a lot of fucking information. You know what I mean? You're like, did we have to rhyme those two words? Yes, we
The
did. That's
whole
where to go
thing
across.
is so much information.
But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you get great music. You get these beautiful songs that just stand alone. And like, I was listening to it at work, and somebody was like, "Is that like a new Rihanna song or something? Like, who sings that?" Yeah, no, I mean, it's
That's an insult to that guy.
No, but it's because it's so light and poppy that
Yeah.
you could see it being the follow up to "We Found Love in
Was
a
it
Hopeless
Satisfied?
Place." Yes, it was. No, it was Helpless. Helpless, and then
Hopeless,
Satisfied.
Helpless.
Genius, and I want to see that staged. And I want now I
With
gotta-
the rewind and the go back through the meeting.
yeah, go back through the
Oh.
meeting to go and find out what
Well,
really
because
happened.
the stage is on two, it has two inset like Lazy Susan, so it's got two.
Oh,
Right.
okay. I know. I need to find this on YouTube and start obsessing more. But I need to find this
There's
gentleman's
very
name.
little on YouTube. You know what they
They're staying on
if,
top of it.
If you follow Lin-Manuel on Twitter, he often kind of tweets out to people in specific seats in the audience. And then, I can't remember where I read it, but then he says that part of the reason that he does that and he knows that is that all of the actors like find people and watch the audience for cameras. And then the ushers go, and before they let them out of the theater, they make them delete everything.
Oh, that's
Like
fantastic.
Wow.
there's
That's great and awful at the same time.
They know that they have like rocket fuel in a bottle right
Right.
there. You know what I
Right.
mean? They know what they have, and they're not letting go of it. They're very
Wow.
tightly controlled. So they
What?
do, like, actors will come off stage from a number, and they will tell ushers,
Oh,
you know,
did.
third row,
Yeah, 6
4
seat
seats
in,
in,
is filming.
and the ushers will go find them at
Yes,
intermission
sure.
and at the end of the day
I
and
love
delete
it.
everything.
I'm enjoying the white people saying namaste.
And he
aren't
does.
we all?
Lin-Manuel goes on Twitter and like shames people that were on their phone. He's like, you know, this seat, that seat, whatever. You worked too hard to get this ticket, and I worked too fucking hard on this show. What are
God
you doing?
bless him.
Like, I love it. But
And
then
I-
he shouts out to people that are really engaged too. It's so very fun to watch.
Oh, I gotta. Maybe I'll get Twitter just to follow him. So here's what I want for my Tony Awards. I want Lin-Manuel to win for, like, you know, book and song and
Absolutely.
whole general concept.
Yep.
But this Aaron Burr, Leslie Odom Jr. Needs to be a Tony
He's
winner
fantastic.
because Wait For It should be on the radio tomorrow. Just a fantastic song.
Yep.
But then in the second act, in the room where it happened.
Uh-huh.
I mean, they get across so much information about the Great Compromise of 1791, which has a
Right.
name, in a tune that you like, a song you genuinely want to dance to. Like, I dance around work to that song.
Yep.
I feel like this is a better version of Conjunction Junction.
No,
because
no,
you're learning. Like I'm saying, you're.
yeah, well,
I'm just a bill.
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I'm only a bill.
It is, but it's also like you want to, like, it could be on the radio. Like, not since like Dreamgirls has like there been a show with songs that are just like right out
Yeah.
of today's music. Like, you could turn on the radio and hear most of these songs. Not the chatty ones that have all the exposition. Of course, that's not going to be on the radio because no one has
Okay.
the attention span. But that room where it happens, and then, and I want the guy that plays, let me find his name because I need to give him credit. David Diggs, that does the Marquis de Lafayette in Act 1 and Thomas Jefferson in the second act. That is genius to have them be the same actor, to go from
Yeah.
a Frenchman to a Francophile is just genius. And then, like, I'm hoping that there's no costume change, that it's just the same person. And the fact that
That I'm
Thomas
not
Jefferson just appears in Act 2 of, like, what I miss.
And David Diggs, especially, and I think some of the other main cast, is not a Broadway guy.
Oh, no,
He was-
most of them, they're all...
He was just recently. I was watching like an AOL. Believe it or not, AOL still exists and does like
I know.
interviews
He's-
and concerts and shit.
That's his email address.
Well, yeah, but it still exists
my news source,
as
too.
a news
It's
source,
HuffPo.
right?
Yeah.
And they just had a big interview with him, and I was hoping that there would be more singing and more parts of the show, but there wasn't. So I fast forwarded through some of it. But he's never auditioned for a Broadway show. He, was kind of a little bit friends with Lin-Manuel and kind of helped develop some of this stuff. And he's, an amazingly fast rapper and a great performer, but he's never done Broadway before. He's never done theater before. He's never done any of this. He's just kind of a musician that was like, hey, this is kind of cool.
And it kind of has elements of Occupy Wall Street in it. It has like parts of like the Bernie Revolution in it, of like the fight, because you're like, are you for the central banks in Wall Street or are you against them? Like, our hero is the person that got all the power in New York, and
right.
Like, and as you go there, there's some clear things where they've just made like, and the thing, and I don't know enough about rap to know what they're stealing from rap, because clearly they are, because there's all kinds of like, this song contains elements of, but like there's Evita is the biggest steal, because Aaron Burr, just like Che Rivera, never met Evita, and they would never have been in the same room, and now he's just called a man. Like in new versions of Evita, they don't call him Che Rivera anymore.
Oh, okay.
Because it made no sense. Like, Aaron Burr doesn't come into his life till a little bit later, but he's the commentator, so you need that character.
Right.
And then, he doesn't die over the 1800 election. He dies over the gubernatorial election in 1804. So they fast and loose.
Well, sure.
The Schuyler sisters had a brother. She
Right.
was already married.
Who gives a crap
but who
about
gives a
him?
shit when that song is so fucking good?
Who gives a shit about the brother?
So I just have to say, if, like, I know it's going to be a long time, and I'm hoping they're going to do a movie, because this needs to be, like, cemented into the American, like, songbook. It is genius. Just genius.
Well,
I
have a lot of listening to
Yes.
do.
It has been 10 straight days of
do it
annoying. And I
sequentially.
seriously, in the elevator, I have it on. Like, I wear headphones into work now.
all the time. All of my ringtones are now little
It
clips.
would be sequentially if I didn't listen to Helpless and Satisfied 150,000 times.
Well, not all the time, but the first 2 times that you listen to it, like listeners
yeah.
at home and Clayton McKee, like the first couple of times through,
wait,
listen to it.
I got mentioned.
Yeah.
Good.
Listen to it sequentially, like go beginning to end.
I agree.
And keep Google close by, because other founding fathers come in, and there's some stuff
Sure.
that you're like, is this true?
Oh yeah, the second listen, then all of a sudden you're like, wait, pause. What actually
Yeah.
happened here? Okay, go. Wait, pause.
But just a really interesting story. And I'd been to his and I'd been to her grave, because they're buried in Trinity Church in Wall Street. So I've actually been to, without knowing that the sister was there too, but I saw like Alexander's grave.
Oh, sure.
And
Sure.
Eliza. Not knowing that Angelica's right there, like, wake up
Yeah.
and sing my song.
Oh, and if you ever want to just like cry for no reason, like just start listening to The Unimaginable.
Oh, yeah.
Done.
Beautiful.
Over.
Beautiful
It's
music.
beautiful
So
and
honest
just
to God, I cannot
emotional.
recommend. This was like 1999, and it's the greatest money I've ever spent.
I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, it's just obsessed. And the Tony Awards, and Jonathan Groff,
Gruff, with an R.
Unfortunately, it's a novelty part, and he's probably not going to win the Tony, but he's the biggest name, so he has a shot.
Sure.
Just a delight as the King of England,
Right.
King George III. And they actually fit in a little side note. One of my favorite movies from the 90s is The Madness of King George.
Okay.
Which the play is called The Madness of George III, if you ever get a chance to see that on stage. That they fit in the jokes about him losing his mind.
Oh, that's
'Cause
funny.
Sometimes they blame it on the colonies. Sometimes they say it Pyphoria. Like, there's all these
I have
different
to
reasons.
go listen to it again.
Oh, yeah. But he makes jokes about that they're driving him mad. And so you get, like, a little bit of history of, like,
That's so
that
funny.
he was mentally ill for most of his reign and eventually he needed a regent. So
My favorite is
Fun
I'll send a
stuff.
fully armed battalion to remind you of my
My
love.
love,
That's
yes.
my favorite.
Yep.
My favorite.
I'm going to
King
kill your
George line.
friends and family just to remind you of my love. You're my favorite loyal subjects. And the subject of my love.
My loyal royal
Royal
subjects.
And then it segues into I can't make you love me.
Pretty much.
Oh, the worst. You are the worst, Burr.
Burr, sir. So musically, I just cannot recommend this enough. And it's been obsessed. And somebody last night was talking about their kid listening to something over and over again.
Yeah.
God, does anybody still do that? I'm like, you've been sitting here listening to Hamilton for 5 straight hours. Like, you think?
And there's just something about, you know what I mean? It's not just unique to especially nerdy people. Like, especially nerdy people really get it, but there's just something about this work of music that is very captivating and very addictive. You know what I mean? Children, like my kid and a lot of his peers, they know nothing about theater other than their parents drag them occasionally. Like, they're not especially picky or knowledgeable about music. You know what I mean? Like 10-year-old kids are hooked on this thing.
Okay.
It's incredibly infectious.
Right, because they're in between, like you said about conjunction junction. Like, it's a catchy fucking song
Yeah.
in the middle of it. But that room where it happens, I swear to God, like it could be a Fosse number. Like they could just drop that into Cabaret, and you'd be like, sure, why not?
My kids' favorites right now are Guns and Ships, where we meet Lafayette, and the Cabinet Battles.
Yeah,
He
you
loves
told
those.
me that, so I listened to those. I mean, I listened to the whole thing, but
I'm
Repeatedly.
looking
and
forward to
Burn.
it.
Burn.
And
cry.
My mother just
taking
texted me.
myself
She's
from the
like,
narrative.
"Is that your copy?" And I'm like, "Yes."
It's
So
it's your
she's
copy
mom's
too,
already
Mom.
looking forward to listening to it. So
Oh yeah,
Hooray.
and I can get her an edible to get her through it.
wow. The other thing that I did not to end the entertainment segment on a sad note. If I'm not mistaken, was it yesterday or is it today the 4-year anniversary of the
Today.
passing of Donna Summer?
It is the 4-year anniversary of she got celebrated home,
Yes.
and very sad. But I mean, it's fun because of all the different fans on my the Facebook page. So it's just been pictures and pictures and pictures of her
Right.
today, and fun, and people putting up different live performances from all over, because the great thing about her voice was like hearing it on the record, always good, but when you saw her live, and like the one the person was talking about, the microphone was at her abdomen and her voice was
Right.
like ringing out through the balcony.
100%. I always tell her she can be holding it here, and it's like she's got it buried in her throat because it's just so fucking true and on pitch. It's just fantastic. I ran into Keith Howard earlier on Sunday before I ran into you, and we talked a brief moment about the Donna. And but yeah, when I started seeing all the posts, because obviously it comes up in my memories on Facebook. You know, do you have memories with Al Perkins and this, that, and the other, and it was all about the Donna, and I'm like, oh well, it's sad, but we had her. We still got her music.
But on a light note, episode 8 of I gotta check what number it is. Go to the thing and I'll come back and tell you what episode.
You got
of Kimmy
45
Schmidt.
seconds.
Kimmy Schmidt.
Okay, episode 3, which I've already watched like 5 times, and I nearly choked to death in my water and fell off my couch onto my shoulder and kind of hurt myself because I can't take it. I am not capable of taking it.
Okay.
That sounds really wrong. Unbreakable.
That sounds like nobody has consent.
We'll get there. We're coming back on the other side of this break. Our drinking word is namaste, if you haven't already figured that out. Coming back with Kat Carlson and whatever the hell she's going to do. I'm sure we have a bullshit segment. We're going to talk about thoughtful things and just whatever the hell comes up. If you've got a thought, join us in the chat room and let us know. We'll be right back. It's Q Talk America.
You've been listening to the show on Q Talk America. This is Q Talk America.
The following broadcast contains adult humor, language, and topics, along with partial nudity. Actual knowledge is used sparingly. The show is a result of a lost bet and a bad game of rock, paper, scissors. It's the show with Clayton McKee. And now, a man with a face for radio, Clayton McKee.
Hi again, everybody, at the beginning of hour 3 on this Tuesday night. You're in Studio C. It's Q Talk America and the show with Clayton McKee. That's me alongside Kat Carlson, Marnie Ryer, and Al Perkins. And you, all of you in the chat room, thank you so much for joining us. And as I like to say, all the ships at sea. Everybody's listening from around the world, including somebody from unknown. Japan was on earlier. So, hi, everybody. Welcome to it. Al had a follow-up on the entertainment section, something about Kimmy Schmidt.
Well, now I can't decide because episode 9 is the one that I almost died over breakfast trying to watch.
I saw your post. I don't think I'm that far. Let me see.
But no, 10 is the one with they do the charades. But the opening of episode 9, where they have the sounds that songs you love but are legally different.
Are legally different.
So they do. It's not walking on sunshine. It's running on sunlight by like Cabina and the sea stuff. I mean, it's just.
And copyright infringement?
Copyright
I'm not that
infringement.
far
And they
yet.
do
I'm
all
not there
these
yet.
funky versions of songs. And like the opening couple minutes, like I was trying to eat my breakfast and I had some toast and some like my frosted flake things, frosted mini wheats, and I was like choking on
Cereal
everything.
is sufficient there.
Yeah, and I was like trying to like eat, thinking the next line won't be as funny, and I'm still laughing at this and like spitting out something, and then I was crying because I was literally choking, and then I started to like choke on my own spit, and I was like, okay, just pause it, just pause the fucking TV, like you're gonna
Calm
make it
down.
through this. And then they went, thank God they get to the open. That's just the like the little
The cold
teaser
open.
before they go to
The full show.
Breakable. I was fucking done. Like, this show is absolutely off the charts. And according to this, I've watched every episode. But I don't know that I actually made it past episode 10 because I'm on my, 7th viewing of episode 9 and probably my 6th. Like, I just lay in bed and, if Hamilton's not playing, then it's this. This has been my entire week.
It's a good week, friend.
And that's what I did for my birthday. I went out for lunch with him, and then I just, pieced out to the world, and it was Hamilton and Kimmy Schmidt back and forth. So it was just, laughing and learning about history.
I'm not mad about it.
I just had to give you that. I cannot this is the 6 hours of television you cannot miss. Although it's turned into 80 for me because I can't stop
watching it over and over and over.
Spreading out the fun.
I have not yet logged into my portion of the Netflix account that I signed up for. Michael and my mother both have, so I'm going to sit down in front of that TV and do it so that I can get to all that.
We'll just watch the opening of 3 episodes before they get to the song, and you'll just die. Mm-hmm. Because Titus is just fucking nuts.
Titus is my favorite.
Right. Kat Carlson, we ready for you?
Sure.
Here we go.
It's been a long time since I did an opening. A lot like one of my favorite shows, Smash. We're going to change tones a couple of times here. I've got a headline-style story about a topless activist. I've got Disney and Dykes, and then we get a little bit of politics with Europe weighing in on North Carolina. We've got a headline that reads guns, beer, vomit, and dead fish.
Oh.
And then maybe a local story.
Oh, local. Namaste.
Good Lord.
Kat Carlson, boys and girls.
So we'll start with this in a little bit headlines style. A topless rights activist claims her circus career has suffered after she was body checked by a
Once
cop.
a carny, always a carny.
She still cries every time she sees a tilt-a-whirl. You just have to read that all over.
I'm going to start that all over again.
It's not connected to the elephants being retired, is it?
Oh my God.
No.
Okay, just was concerned.
No connection
She
to
cries
Blum
every time she
or
sees a
Bailey.
tilt-a-whirl. God damn it, that's funny.
Why are we talking about
funny.
Molly Montgomery?
Oh, and a tube top.
What? She does cry every time she sees a tilt-a-whirl. Ask her. She doesn't listen anymore.
That's
A
funny.
topless rights activist.
It's all my chewing. Yeah.
Okay.
Topless rights, that's right. Claims her circus career has suffered
I can't. Okay, go ahead.
after she was body checked by a cop during a parking dispute.
Unbreakable. They're alive.
Phoenix Feely, age 36. That's right.
Stop it.
Feely.
Alleges in a lawsuit that she suffered cop-inflicted injuries.
Cops. She was.
Feely and, quote,
Namaste.
a number of
Cop
other
to
people
feel?
on
That's
East
good.
12th Street between Avenues A and B were waiting for street cleaning to end so they could park their cars on the other side of the street, according to the Manhattan Federal Court. As Feely, a.k.a. Jill Caraco,
Funny.
Oh, God. Okay, got it.
Okay.
waited around noon that day, a man on the block assaulted her with hot coffee, she said.
Awful.
Hot coffee?
Hot coffee! Well, when you're topless, hot coffee hurts.
I think it's gonna hurt.
Sure.
Put a shirt on.
Feely,
you'd be
who
fine.
notoriously called 16 days in a New Jersey jail for topless sunbathing a death sentence, alerted the police of the assault.
Hyperbolic much.
One officer was, quote, full of hostility and threatened to give Feely and those speaking up for her all parking tickets.
Oh.
The officer
Wow.
started writing Feely a ticket as she stood near her car and then asked her to move. When the flame-eating Feely asked why she needed to move, the officer, quote, violently and intentionally barreled into the plaintiff, causing her pain and injury.
Wait,
her
she can
lawsuit
swallow a flaming
Flaming
sword,
sword.
Yeah.
but bumping into a car is what sets her off.
Listen.
Topless.
Listen, she is a circus performer, so this has been affecting her
Oh.
work. She does
Oh.
trapeze and
Sure,
other
sure.
circus activities.
Stop the violence.
Oh, my gosh.
The officer involved acted like a bully and a thug. He used unnecessary force on a woman much smaller than him, according to her attorney. He, like so many other of his many colleagues, need to learn how to keep their damn hands to themselves and control their anger.
They need some namaste, apparently.
Yeah.
Now,
Good call.
Phoenix Feely is a, we'll say a herb.
Let's see if I can find a picture of Miss Feely.
All right.
You keep going. I'm going to look for Phoenix Feely.
She's a serial litigant, if you will.
I enjoy that.
Isn't that fun?
That one alone.
Namaste.
She won a
like
$29,000 settlement from the city In 2007, following her allegations, she was falsely arrested. Not erected, arrested.
Dear God, I found her.
Of course you did.
How about that? I liked that slip of the...
Feely also claimed in 2012 court papers that cops wrongly arrested her for putting a Got Vermont sticker on her co-op's front gate. She received $35,000 settlement from the city for that one. Serial litigant Phoenix Feely.
Serial litigant.
Seriously.
Got Vermont.
Got Vermont.
Why does that come on a
I
sticker?
don't know.
I don't.
Because maybe they like
I don't
milk.
know if this violates any YouTube nudity. Is what my concern is. She's covering the goods, but I don't know. Does it factor in?
I don't know. Show it.
Well, if it's covered,
We've been threatening
we can-
partial nudity for years.
Well, that's a valid point.
Why not
that
deliver?
is a valid point.
That's a valid point. Hang on, I gotta do this, and then we got.
I mean, we just showed Tom of Finland.
Yeah, but that was first of all that was a characterization.
Cartoon.
I was saying, one could argue that we've
Conjunction,
We've-
junction,
well, and
fuck
with
me.
her-
displayed
All
some very
right.
vulgar
Drawing,
drawings.
yeah.
Ladies
right.
and gentlemen, I present Phoenix Feely. Boys and girls,
Feely,
there she is.
Oh.
Topless activist,
Oh.
circus performer,
Serial litigator.
serial litigant.
And protector of the
dirty.
nipples.
Oh,
Something.
she should.
She needs a
She's
shower.
attractive.
Yeah,
Really?
Look, how
It-
she needs a shower.
in a circus performer kind of
I
a
mean,
way.
In a carny kind of way.
I'd hose her down before I fucked her, but after I got consent. Written
written. Could you sign this,
written
please?
and verbal consent.
Yes.
Kuma.
I appreciate that
felt
you're
like
telling
saying
this
some
story, Kat,
Swahili after
and you
that.
have admitted on this show that you are related to carnies.
Yeah.
So I appreciate
One's a carny, always.
I appreciate
Right.
your your
No,
concern.
I
One of
have
the
I
best
have.
lines in a movie.
Oh, I guess
It-
I guess they're great
it
aunt and uncle.
truly
They're,
is.
they're my mother's aunt and uncle. They literally have like a carnival, like one of those food trucks that goes around to different carnivals
Okay.
and sells funnel cakes or some bullshit. I don't remember.
I didn't ask a lot of follow-up
Right,
questions.
no,
It
not
might
for
be
that.
funnel cakes. It might be dildos for
Carnies,
your
we don't
luggage.
really know. None of them are
or
listening
funnel
right
cakes shaped like dildos.
For your luggage.
Yeah.
now. Oh, dildo cakes.
All right.
Oh.
Very nice. Anyway,
Thank you.
Phoenix Feely, I thought you
I do
needed to know
enjoy
about
that. I enjoy
right?
that.
Right. Now, moving right along, what do we got? A couple of weeks ago, GLAAD issued a LGBT report card of various television and movie studios and their report card on representation of gay people
No,
in their
didn't
media. Disney failed.
Oh,
100%. Disney's got no gays.
shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking. They run the fucking mouse trap, but they aren't in front of the camera.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, there's all kinds of mows all over
Oh,
the place,
God.
but not on camera.
Yeah.
But the moral of the story here is that Frozen fans are asking Disney to hashtag give Elsa a girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah, I was kind of like,
Yeah, I've heard
okay.
that. Sorry about my little
You don't
thing
think
in there.
so?
It didn't work. So
Let
hold
it
on.
go.
Well,
Let it go.
she's the one in the ice, right? Anna's the one that's trying to
you know
reach
what?
her.
She's the ice one.
Okay, I mean, sure, why not?
Yeah. Why not?
Why can't she be up?
I'm
you know,
all about it. Well,
Well,
and
she's an
you know
ice
what?
queen.
couple dogs, a Subaru.
She's an ice queen. Well,
Hello.
She's got visible
We're not
lesbian
going to
bed
come
death.
there.
I'm just saying, so.
I'm just namaste, just based on the ice.
Namaste.
frigid bitch.
That's exactly right, Amelia.
Disney shouldn't feel bad because there wasn't a single studio who obtained a good rating for last year's releases. On a slightly brighter side, Lionsgate used LGBT characters in 33% of their films, while other companies like Sony and Universal both represented the LGBT community in 19% of their films. So it's not a whole... Well, it's about representative population,
Yeah.
though. Yeah, I'm okay with it.
I would never expect Disney to come up with an overtly gay movie ever. I would just think there would be characters. Well, now they've got some characters.
I mean, come on,
you know,
Summer.
it's-
Nathan Lane plays in
Birdcage?
No. He's in
It's in an
he's in
animated- what is
Lion
it?
King.
Lion King, yeah.
He's in Lion King. I mean, that character is pretty goddamn. But
You
still,
can call me Flower if you want to.
yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
Gayer than
so,
Christmas.
So there's a lot of him there, but it's not like stated.
But you know what? It might be time, and Elsa
Jack.
actually in a sequel might be a
God.
really good example to do that. Elsa is the first princess who didn't need to be saved by a prince.
All right.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
This
Wait
was
a minute, I
this was
thought
a big
that
deal.
And Beauty and the
Brave.
Beast. But Beauty and the Beast, she didn't need to be saved. She had to save him.
But still, she needed her prince.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Doesn't
she got a library out of
Brave
it.
end up with a dude too? I haven't seen that one. I don't know. I'm pretty sure
In
she
fact,
ends
I think
up with
that's
a
in the
prince.
side notes of the script. Doesn't she wind up with a dude, too? I like that. I like it.
It's a good call.
I know. I sounded really
You
disappointed
did.
about that. I was like,
Doesn't she wind up with
Yeah.
a dude?
don't they all end up with a dude at some point?
Dildo in her luggage.
Story of my life, kind of literally.
I feel like there's a lot of.
Fair enough.
It's gonna give you the shivers when you stick it in there.
Oh my!
Shiver me timbers.
Oh
Things I heard at homecoming.
yeah. I'll pull out.
I think there's a lot of gays on TV though. I feel like
I think there
we're
are more
almost
gays on TV.
overrepresented on TV.
Either that or we're all
'Cause,
just
I mean,
watching the
and
gay
that
show.
real
Right,
O'Neill
yes.
feels a little forced with that kid. Like that's what I mean. They need time to like settle that show down so he's not such a unicorn on that show.
Amina.
Sure.
Mulan didn't need to be saved, but she ended up with a dude.
Yeah.
That always end up with the dude.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Disney has kind of morphed that cookie cutter formula
Right.
from
Classic cartoon. Classic.
right from classic Get Saved by the Prince to just ends up with a prince.
Yeah.
And Happy Adventure. Tangled too, a very strong female character, but ends up with a prince.
Because to me, Beauty and the Beast is always the strongest. Because he like gets her a library and like
He kind of dotes on her, and
Yeah.
she kind of tames him.
Yeah, and she
Right.
saves him. But she wanted a man. She's looking
Again,
for a baby.
right.
She's walking around town singing to strangers.
Like Al does.
Very similar.
Whether
There
they-
goes the baker with his bread like always.
wow.
Listen,
I used to have the
doing.
Little
Disney
Mermaid
show tunes.
on video cassette. What's it called? VCR.
VCR,
tape?
Yeah, yeah.
VHS.
And I would watch Kiss the Girl every night before bed. I just thought that was. I would just have that stuff all rewound before I went to bed. Listen to
that's very
Kiss
nice.
the Girl because that song is just fucking gold. It's
That's
just
cute.
such a lovely, lovely song.
Yeah.
And who's expecting Jamaican rhythms out of Disney? Like it was just so.
It was a good week at Disney.
Yeah, it really was. They had Howard Ashman dying really was
Yeah.
just a horrible loss to.
Was
the,
that who
the art.
voiced the?
No,
the-
he wrote. He was the lyricist for.
Probably a lot of that era.
I just said the names.
The Little Mermaid.
Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid,
Uh-huh.
and then he died halfway through Aladdin, and that's why I don't like Aladdin because you can tell where the songs he wrote and the songs he
And the
didn't
songs
write.
he didn't.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go look
because
that
the
up.
cleverness is really lacking from the stuff he doesn't write.
Then he clearly wrote Prince Ali.
Yep, that's the one you can tell. I love the monkeys.
I love the monkeys.
Look at the feathers. Yeah. So good. Well, anyway,
Bonjour.
times to come. We could do Disney show tunes all night long too. I'm your girl. We'll move on to a little bit of politics. We've talked off and on about HB2, which is the North Carolina House bill that has become known as the transgender bathroom law, stating, among other things, that an individual should use the public facilities that match the gender on their birth certificate. The European Union has decided to chime in and say that the states, any state with such a bill, Tennessee and Mississippi and North Carolina, are violating an international agreement on civil rights. Statement posted on the EU website from their spokesperson says that these laws discriminate against lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, blah blah blah, all the alphabet people, and are contrary to the International Covenant on Civil Rights and Political Rights, to which the U.S. is a state party, and which states that the law shall prohibit any discrimination and guarantee to all persons equal and effective protection. So now we're in. I mean, there's really no consequence to it, but now we're kind of in international law. And several weeks ago, it was kind of on my
dick.
Right. It was on my list, and it kind of never got to. But the United Kingdom issued a travel advisory against traveling to North Carolina.
Oh, I love it.
I remember that. Yeah. It was on, it made all the news.
it made headlines and stuff. I don't think it made this show.
And boy, are our politicians that is our strongest ally in the world.
I do think we mentioned it. We didn't go into a depth conversation, but I think it was brought up.
Oh, I don't think so. But like now, Trump is after the mayor of London and in a war with him. David
Right.
Cameron, the prime minister, is like just fucking done with Trump.
Mm-hmm,
Now
already.
in North Carolina, like there's Great Britain. Like you guys are fighting these fucking fights all the time, and now why are you going backwards? Like when did science leave the table of things we were going to talk
now
about?
North Carolina, of all people, is thumbing their nose at the United Kingdom and Europe in general by saying we relinquished our adherence to the British Crown and European powers over 200 years ago. The law is now in federal court, and it'll be resolved there.
Yeah, but you got. I mean, to the rest of the world, like when people
Seriously.
are like, the Earth is 6,000 years old, and the Flintstones is a documentary.
They've got to be
And
just
I'm sure
shaking
this
their
has to be
heads.
happening in other countries and other religions. But it's just got to be embarrassing. Like, you put people on the moon 40 years ago. What the fuck happened? 45,
Right.
46, 47
What has
years
happened
ago.
to you people in a
47.
generation?
A couple days ago.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, what happened?
Right
what
before I was born.
happened?
Yeah. And stories like this make me want to watch international news.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't watch domestic news, so
You
why would I watch
fuckers
international
walked
news?
around the moon, and now you're back to pretending it's made out of cream cheese or
Right.
blue cheese or whatever
Right.
it is.
Like, everybody in the world has got to be going, hey, these fuckers over
These
here.
fuckers,
What's
yeah.
going on?
They're caught in some kind of a time device. What's it called? Time machine.
Time capsule.
God. The basketball hoopy thing.
The ring. The
It's been
basketball
all Ted
ring.
Cruz, yeah. Basketball. It's been all Ted Cruz on y'all.
Yes, thank you.
The hoopy thing.
He called it the ring.
All right. Well, speaking of these fuckers over here,
It'd be fantastic if they did.
my favorite headline that I've snacked lately reads, Guns, Beer, and Vomit. Parenthetically,
Saturday night.
Rampage leaves endangered fish dead in Death Valley.
Oh. I thought this was an Uber
Sure.
experience.
No, believe it or not, a $15,000 reward is being offered for details leading to the arrest and conviction of 3 men who went on a drunken rampage involving gunfire, vomiting, skinny dipping, and the death of a tiny endangered fish in Death Valley National Monument.
Wow. Okay.
I know. The unidentified men were last seen around 7:20 p.m. on April 30th. It's clearly a little bit older story. Oh, yeah, it's from last week. I snagged it last week. Anyway, the unidentified men were last seen around 7:20 p.m. on April 30th driving around a secured gate surrounding Devil's Hole. That's not a euphemism.
That's on the
I
Niagara
dated
River.
her.
It's a 40-acre detached unit in Death Valley National
Oh,
Park.
there's also Devil's Hole in Niagara Falls.
Oh.
My apologies.
No, this is in Death Valley. The habitat is also home to the endangered Devil's Hole pupfish.
Oh.
Once they entered Devil's Hole, park officials say that these men shot at signs, gate locks, and a security system monitor sensor. The men fired at least 10 rounds, according to authorities, and left behind beer cans and vomit. Very nice.
Very nice.
During the excursion, one man jumped into the waters of Devil's Hole, swam around, and left his boxer shorts floating in the water. Park officials later found dead pupfish, one of only 115 that currently inhabit Devil's Hole. Pupfish, which grow to just 1.5 inches long,
Oh, they're tiny.
little baby fishes, are the tenacious descendants of fish that inhabited an ancient lake that once covered Death Valley.
Wow.
According to the National Park Service, the pupfish population fluctuates between 100 and 200 in the winter and between 300 and 500 in the summer. That's all the pupfish there are in the world.
And these fuckers threw up on them.
The latest population numbers were tallied in a survey last month. An autopsy is being performed on the pupfish to determine whether the vandal's actions
Jesus
may
Christ.
Can you
have...
imagine? Little
It's something as big as this pin cap, and they're
little
gonna
teeny
do.
tiny.
Well, but what's going to happen is these are endangered animals, and so if they determine through autopsy that, yep, this drunk douchebag jumping into the pond killed this fish, then he gets to be charged with additional stuff.
Oh, I'm actually all for this. I'm on top of this.
board. On board.
I'm on board, Rose.
Oh.
Right on it, Rose.
In any event, video footage shows the men climbing over a fence, driving away in what appeared to be a blue Yamaha Rhino, which is an off-road vehicle. The vehicle was, quote, extensively customized with an added seat and a safety cage. Anyone with details is urged to call the Park Service.
That's a lot of details right
investigators.
there. So
Yeah,
I think you
it
should be
is.
able to.
I think they
Like
should be able
Google
to
Map
find
your way.
somebody.
Although, if I'm not depending, some states require you to register those because they are roadworthy. When you do a lot of different things, it might actually be a registered vehicle aside from just.
Well, but some of them only make you register if you plan to drive it on the road too.
No, true. But I'm just saying there's a chance that it could actually be registered.
Well, how did it land in this off-road thing? Like
What's that?
I Dream of Jeannie style? Like, how did this vehicle make it from
They drove
where
it-
you live?
I drove it from Bob's house.
Yeah, but it was never on a road. Like, were they on the sidewalk?
You know, and
I
I
might need a picture of this.
I didn't pull up a map.
Could you please draw that?
I could diagram it out.
Yeah.
No, but
it was called Reba. What was it called?
a lot of
Rhino?
Rhino.
a Rhino, Yamaha Rhino.
I will get a picture of it.
A lot of state parks and lands border private property, so you could conceivably drive through your own pasture, your own woods, and cross over into a state park.
Oh, it's a golf cart.
Kind of.
Did it? Did
It's a
it?
glorified golf cart.
Did it-
We're come on.
Did it specify a
That
color?
is, yeah.
I know.
Did it specify?
Blue.
It it did.
Yeah.
Oh, stand by. I'm gonna show our listening
Yamaha
person.
Rhino.
Nice.
I'm gonna show them what this looks like. I want them to know.
Listening person.
Well, we gotta talk to them. We gotta get there. Where's this picture shot?
Well, $15,000 to anybody that comes up with these guys and forks them over
By
to
the
the
way,
feds.
there is your Yamaha Rhino, boys and girls. But
So they
this
added
was
a cage
right.
and a back seat.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun to me.
What self-respecting hooligan is going to be caught in that thing?
If I owned one and I had land, we'd go right around. You'd be fine.
Oh yeah, no.
Come on, it's a good time.
Really? In this story? How's the sound system?
Can you imagine if you had had that?
It's gonna
with
be
King
you
June?
It's you singing. What the fuck else do you want?
All right, I'm back.
She's on board, ladies and gentlemen.
I was in the room where it happened. The room where it happened.
God damn it, I'm gonna wait for it. Goodness gracious.
Horse shit.
I love the one. It's the Disney. It's the one where the fucking fish dies. Pixar After Dark. That's funny, Amina.
That is funny. That's very funny.
The dark tales of Pixar. Dory gets flushed.
You know, I'm concerned those after shows like the Fear the Walking or the After the Walking
Yeah.
Dead and all those talk shows that come after. I'm afraid that they're going to be the new reality genre and that they're going to take over the world. I noticed that HBO has started one for after the Game of Thrones,
Oh, have they? Yeah.
and I was like,
Because now they're only doing the new show Preacher, or if this is its second season. They're going to do the season premiere and the finale are going to have a talk show
a
afterwards.
talk show after.
And like this, the Talking Dead after the Fear the Walking Dead is completely pointless. Like that show's not good enough to
Right.
need a conversation about it. It's not there yet. The Walking Dead
Yeah.
you do, because if you watch it alone, you're very excited to be part of a
like, have
conversation
something
and
happen,
interact.
Sure. But I fear that, and it's just an aside, but I fear that that's going to be the new genre of annoying reality television.
Oh, and seriously, because in my great search for podcasts to listen to as I fell asleep, oh my God, if you want to listen to a podcast about pick a top, Jesus Christ, if you want to have like a 90-minute
There's
conversation about Dexter, there's
I'm
someone that's
sure
going
you're
to
in
talk
heaven.
me off the ledge. You know what I mean?
I'm sure you're in heaven about that.
No, I couldn't. It was too much.
Too much.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
settle down.
Did I tell you about the West Wing one that I started listening
Yeah,
to?
exactly. Because it's all like microaggressions. Like they're like,
Super micro. Oh, so funny. All right, well, now I've got a story that is
Marn, I did it. I'm sorry.
Cool. Thank you.
I mean,
Good work.
it's a different story. Go ahead.
Thank you.
I've got a story that is local to us.
Oh, right here in the great state of
Right
Arizona.
here in Phoenix, Arizona.
Alrighty.
Two Phoenix artists who make wedding invitations and other artwork filed a lawsuit on Thursday, and this is relevant, this is new. Filed a lawsuit on Thursday challenging the city's civil rights ordinance, saying that they fear prosecution if they refuse to do work for a gay or lesbian couple's wedding. That's right, we're back to
this bullshit.
back to this bullshit, and it's here in Arizona. The lawsuit could reignite a fiery debate about the intersection of constitutional freedoms and Phoenix's ordinance prohibiting discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity. Attorneys for the conservative Alliance Defending Freedom,
oh, of course they are.
of course, filed the lawsuit on behalf of Joanna Duca and Brianna Koski, co-owners of Brush and Nib Studio and self-described evangelical Christians. Their studio sells artwork such as hand painting, calligraphy for weddings, and other events. I went to their website, and it's all like hand calligraphied place cards and invitations and blah, blah, blah bullshit.
Yeah.
Which should not matter if they're doing it for gay people or if they're doing
Yeah.
it for straight people. It should not matter.
Money's the same.
Yeah. Jesus doesn't care. Let me just give me a heads up.
Yeah, Jesus doesn't care, and money's still green. According to their lawsuit, Duca and Koski fear that they could face jail time and other penalties under Phoenix's non-discrimination ordinance if they refuse to create art for a gay couple's wedding ceremony or publicly voice their beliefs against same-sex marriage. Now, this is important. No gay couple has filed a complaint against them, and it's unclear if any gay couples have requested their artistic services.
Right, and that's so. You're being the douche.
You're a preemptive strike
Right.
as a douche is what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Right.
Right. So you're trying to force a law over something that's never come up and never happened.
Right.
Just put it on your sign. Like not really into the gays. Go
Yeah.
somewhere else.
Hang a shingle out
Just
that
hang
says
a shingle,
right.
shingle out, the shingle,
Right.
shingle, shingle.
Dingle dangle.
Dingle dangle, right.
Yeah.
Just put it out there. Like not a fan.
Seriously.
Swishing.
Or just do it do it privately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When the gay couple says, hey, blah, 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 we want to do this, say, you know what? We're really not excited to do this. Here's some friends of ours that do wonderful work.
Or just say, no, that's not my thing. Not into the gays.
Or even be chicken shit about it and be like, you know what? I really just don't have the time. And
I'm busy that Thursday.
Right, I'm busy. We're booked up through like 2020.
Booked. And do a kind brush off to a friend of yours who doesn't give a shit, who actually wants the money.
Right. Last time I checked, most of the local businesses are not in a situation where they can turn away business.
No, especially not something very niche like that. Like
right.
I can't imagine the backlog for their
Right.
for their work is that great.
People are clamoring for calligraphy done.
Yeah, and we just didn't know it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's such a niche market.
Now, I'm an antagonist, and I kind of want to just start writing them inquiries about all kinds of ridiculous gay weddings.
Oh.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
Kind of like that email story that he was talking about several weeks ago. I thought it was him, but maybe it was you.
I don't know.
There was
the story?
The email story. We went back and forth about this. It was the... Oh, God, I thought it was you that did it. It was the guy who kept responding to the people. No,
that was me.
it was you. The girl, the one responding to the back and forth about the
spam emails.
the spam emails and the money. And I don't really know who you are. But could you tell me more about yourself?
More about yourself.
That was very funny.
So funny.
Just torment them with
Just
questions.
inquiring about all kinds of stuff.
Well, you know, speaking of some back and forth and even just hinting on retaliatory garden lighting.
Yeah.
In Tribeca,
Which comes up more in conversation than you think it's going to.
It does happen. Tribeca.
In Tribeca, there's a woman using a strobe light and a disco ball to wage war on a neighbor's television.
Wow.
That's right.
Nice.
Angered by a bright, flat-screen television, a Tribeca woman has been shining bright strobe lights and a nightclub-style disco ball into her neighbor's apartment, according to a lawsuit filed in Manhattan Civil Court. The passive-aggressive tactic started shortly after her new neighbor moved into the building in December 2014. Sue Ellen Epstein is accused of waging, quote, a campaign of harassment. Harassment.
Have we learned nothing?
Sure.
Oh, God.
Against Rich Mealy and his family. Mealy's lawsuit claims that Epstein was upset by the glare caused by his big screen television and demanded he close his blinds when it is in use. Mealy instead offered to pay for high-tech blinds to be installed in Epstein's apartment, an offer that she refused.
That's fair, though.
I agree. That's fair.
funny.
That's funny. Look,
That's
I'm going to
funny.
give you
Right. You have the
6-inch LED
problem.
curtains.
You get the blinds.
Right.
I want to leave my shit open.
Right.
Sounds fair to me. According to court papers, what followed was an all-out illuminated assault.
The Illuminati.
The Illuminati of us all.
Mealy claims that Epstein installed a series of large, extra bright spotlights against her window and shone them across their building's shaftway directly into his apartment.
Ooh, the shaft.
Shaftway.
Oh.
The spotlights caused my entire living room to spectacularly fill with bright lights every single night.
It's just ambiance.
Mealy went on to claim that Epstein went so far as to install timers on the spotlights so they would shine blinding light into his home even when she was away on vacation. As the dispute progressed, Epstein also unleashed nightclub-like strobes and spinning colored lights.
I like both of these people.
Right? I think they're fun.
One of Epstein's weaponized lights is positioned to light up a hallway
Weaponized light.
leading to Mealy's bathroom, he claims, exposing his 2 young children before and after their nightly baths.
Namaste.
There have been times when my daughter, being a 3-year-old child, will emerge while still inside the bathroom in the doorway without any clothing after taking a bath and be exposed to anyone looking in the windows, including Epstein, as a direct result of the shining spotlights in my bathroom.
I have found for you all to enjoy an image of here's what I guess he's taking pictures of her lights.
Sure.
They look like this coming into his apartment from across the shaftway.
yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is a lot.
Yep.
God, that's
Well, I mean,
funny.
it's saving his electric bill.
Yeah,
good
he
call.
can turn all his lights off.
But I do have to say, though, the high def TVs, when that Target commercial comes on and it goes to
that
white,
It's a lot.
that is blinding.
Absolutely.
Even I'm like, ooh, gotta close my eyes.
But it felt to me like the problem was solved when he says, you know what? Why don't I offer you these nice blinds?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Seriously. She declined.
seems a fair
Here's
solution.
another from a different angle. There's another shot of the lights.
Jesus Christ.
Those are assaulting
That's like
lights,
Close
yeah.
Encounters shit.
The civil lawsuit demands merely that Epstein, who has run Tribeca Gymnastics Company Children's Tumbling for decades,
Oh, she should jump out the window.
should shut off and remove the lights.
Oh my God, that's fantastic. That's a great story.
Everybody needs blinds. I mean,
Well, no, right? Why
It's
would
retaliatory garden lighting,
Yeah, that really
American
is.
edition.
Yeah.
why? I don't know why you would live in an apartment and not have blind. I mean, I don't want anybody watching and looking.
It's
and
shitty petty people.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
happens.
Well,
Like, you just get
microaggressions.
shitty petty people.
Yeah.
Microaggressions. What was the word again? What was the phrase we liked about the
Weaponized lighting.
weaponized
Weaponized
lighting?
and that truly is.
Harrison,
Jesus.
just put that in there.
Weaponized lighting.
And did you see that from Aaron? We use a large fan, like used on movie sets, on neighbors who smoked under the bedroom windows. Nice. I
Sure.
like that a lot.
Used a large. Say
Like
it again.
the-
Well, and
small
it-
spaces
people
like that, like,
smoking.
you know what I mean? Like large cities, Manhattan, Chicago,
Oh,
whatever
gotcha.
you're living
Yeah,
in,
smart.
those
Right.
close
Yeah.
Right.
buildings and close quarters, you're just going to have people that rub each other the wrong way that are just going to petty each other to death.
Yeah.
And in New
Oh,
York
yeah.
with the small apartments, there was I can't remember who on TV was talking about that because they were trying to pass that law about not being able to smoke in apartment buildings because it did drift through the vents and
Sure,
stuff.
of course it will.
And it just got to the point of like I'm in my own home. Like I rent, I pay the like. All
Right.
right,
I
like,
don't need to smell your smoke.
right, and it could all, but no, but
It
was
goes both
like,
ways,
it
though.
goes
Like, I've
both
paid for
ways.
this apartment. If I want to smoke in it, I can.
Because then
the
you have
landlord
people
doesn't
that
have an
you know
issue.
cook fish on a
Right.
on night, or me if you cook cauliflower in the microwave, I need to move out. Like I can't stand the smell of cooked cauliflower. Like
fair.
I'd rather you all lit up and smoked cigarettes
I
than make
didn't know
me
that.
smell cooked cauliflower. Oh,
Okay.
like Tim had to cook that on my days if I was working.
Huh.
Like, and then we had to like open up all the windows because I can't stand that smell.
Things I didn't know about Al.
Yeah.
There's that.
Somebody write that down.
I just did.
Thank you.
Weaponized lighting.
Put down weaponized cauliflower.
Oh,
And yes, and Aaron, I'm allergic to cigarette smoke. You gotta see the rough shape I was in after 10 years in a bar. Like
Oh, I bet.
I was
Yeah, but the
bronchitis
fact
on the
that they
regular.
wouldn't I don't know. I just think that's rude. You're in your house, and I get that, but there has to be a way to be a little bit more polite.
Or smoke. They have those
No,
air
I mean
filters.
not for Aaron. For the
No,
people
no,
that
but
are
for the people that are
smoking.
smoking.
Like,
But they
there's-
make
sure.
those smoke filters that'll like
Yeah.
chew up the smell,
Yeah.
so it doesn't affect everyone.
Yeah.
There are
Fuck,
things
people
We
you
were
can do.
smokers
Fair.
that didn't give a shit, though. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no. Like I would almost fall out of a chair in order to not have cigarette smoke going
Yeah.
at someone, and not that.
yeah,
it
but you're
still
like
doesn't.
painfully polite. That's not normal.
Fair enough. Thank you. I'm not sure.
And I'm the
You'd
know,
fall
and
out of the same chair if you thought that your deodorant was offending somebody.
That's
like,
actually
it's-
true.
and I'm the loud
you.
neighbor. Like I'm the neighbor. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
That's
whenever
funny.
it's time to be offended by something, I just remembered like, oh yeah, we've been playing Hamilton for like
Right,
10 straight
right.
days at top volume.
what's that
Right.
thing I posted on your Facebook?
You're in the room where it happened. Turned it off. You're sitting in the room.
Why is the music so loud if you're in the room? Yeah.
You don't want to be in the room where it happened. You're currently there.
I posted a thing on Al's Facebook
Spoiler
the other
alert, you're
day.
in the room. It's happening.
Also, your neighbors
Oh,
3
that's
doors down
awful.
are still in that room.
Right.
Exactly.
That thing you posted on his wall was funny.
My neighbors listen to good music, whether they like it or not.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. Oh, Aaron, that's just awful.
Yeah.
Oh.
Speaking of good music, have
Oh,
you heard
Aaron,
Hamilton?
I'm on your side, and I'm being facetious, but the cigarette smoke would eventually get to me.
Sure.
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 Because
It does.
it keeps me out of a lot of patios and stuff like that.
I don't blame you. All right, that's all I got. What's next?
I don't really have a
got
bullshit. We
nothing?
got bullshit, and then we got
Yeah.
thoughtful, and then we're done. Who's got bull? I don't.
Marty's
really,
got like 12 bullshits.
Well, go ahead, Martin.
No. Not.
All right, Marnie, you're at bullshit.
I don't know that I had a bullshit. I'll think about it.
Sorry, I got onto something else. My bad. I
Get
was
off,
trying to look up
get
something
off a
else.
grinder.
Sorry. My bad.
Wow.
My bad. There was a story that we did a while back about restaurants abandoning tips
Yeah.
for servers.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
And so they're waiting for it to come up. So they were trying this. This just came out on the 15th. Why restaurants are ditching the switch to no tipping, because it was not working. at all. Because people are too ignorant, and we talked about that at the time.
Yeah.
You know, even with servers making $2.13 an hour or whatever it had been before this, they were changing that, paying them more, and then upping the price of food.
Right.
And
Tip included is basically
Yeah.
what they were doing.
tip included, right?
Sure.
And it just wasn't. People can make more money. I mean, if one of us are the ones going about any kind of customer service, then we're not all the time, but we're probably going to do a whole lot better than some of the fucking morons that you've gotten service from in the past, right? Where you walk in and they're like, "What can I get you? What do you want?" So to switch to this, I think can be a really dangerous thing because you're cutting into people's money. Does that make sense?
Sure. Well, so,
Many people are going to make less, and the ones that aren't working as hard or don't
Just
have that
Sure.
personality,
Right.
it all
that
comes out
flair.
in the wash.
Yeah.
but from a business owner standpoint, it comes out in a lessening of entitlement of your tipped employees who feel entitled to tips that they may or may not have earned. It's a lessening of your employees possibly being one of those that try and receipt shame your customers.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It can absolutely smooth out if you've got some shitty entitled
And then you just go to dinner and
servers.
pay for dinner.
Right, then you just
Yeah.
go to dinner, pay for dinner, you get the service,
They get paid a decent living
good, bad,
wage.
good, bad, or indifferent, and your servers make a decent amount of money.
Okay.
You know, and I make a fair amount of money on tips and always have. I'm very good at my job and what I do.
Absolutely.
And it shows, and
Yeah.
you know, anytime I have somebody comment on it, I'm like, you know what, the people that you're comparing me against do this job for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, the people that you're comparing me against that you've had bad experiences do this to get through something.
Right.
I've been doing this for now 11 years. Like, I do this because I love it, not because I
Yeah.
have to, not because I'm in college and can't work with my degree,
Right.
you know, or just graduated and can't find a job to pay
Right.
me any money.
Sure.
Like, I do this because I love it, and there's your difference, and that's why I make great money on tips.
Right.
Oh,
But
God.
I can-
when I went from hourly wage to tipped, and I was like, oh my God, why did no one tell me about this when I was in
Right.
college?
Yes.
That I didn't have to be broke for 4 years, you know what I mean?
For sure.
So I left college because I'm like, I don't want to be,
Yeah.
I don't want to live like this.
But on the flip side of that,
So then the second time I got better student loans.
yeah, in a no tip scenario, then if I'm working full time hours and I'm in a no tip scenario, then I'm eligible for nice things like benefit, paid time off, because then there's a definable standard and a place where that money's coming from. My wage is eligible now for
Unless
PTO
they say you can't
Right.
benefits.
do, unless they get around it, which a lot of places are.
Yeah.
No, not if you're not a tipped employee.
No.
Now you have to cut my hours, so now I'm not working full time for you.
No, exactly. But
Yeah.
that's
Which
how they
is
get around
which
it.
is the Walmart way to get around that. I
absolutely.
understand that.
But so many places are doing that. So many places.
Oh, sure.
So that they don't have to deal with insurance and doing the paid time off.
But
I mean,
in the-
it really
Isn't that
is.
sad that that's the American response to?
You're exactly
Well,
right. It's
But
sad. It's very
point,
sad, but it's
the
what's
point
happening.
to all of it with public health care, the point of it is to get your health insurance not attached to your job. You just have health
Right.
insurance. Not because you work, so that you're stuck in a job because you have health insurance.
because of benefits.
You
Sure.
take the job that you like and you just have health insurance. Like that's one of the goals of public health care, whatever you want to call it, is to get you off that wheel, if you will.
Sure.
Sure.
And
Yeah,
it's
sure will.
people are usually happier if you're going from job to job because of you like what you do, not because this benefit package I don't want to leave.
I'll
it.
keep digging
Right.
ditches for the rest of my
Sure.
life because this
Yeah.
benefit package is
Or
great.
you stay
Yeah.
at a job for 20 years because there's a a retirement program,
Right,
so
a
you spend
package,
20
sure.
years in misery
Sure.
shoveling
Yeah.
coal.
Well, and I'm
for the
a-
retirement that we just voted on, and then
Well, we have
then
state
some
employees-
asshole's going to put it up to vote.
We have state employees right now that I just went out with last night that are like, oh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
I have 2 years, 3 months, 4 days, 7 hours, 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and 15 seconds. 14 seconds. And that they're going through, I mean, they know it calculated down, and it's not about retirement age.
They just want
it's like
out of
they
that.
just went out of that
Right.
job.
yeah, yeah.
And so, what an awful,
Yeah.
I mean, to feel that change. The interesting thing with this that I found out, and Kat, I think that those are really great insights to what's happening with it. But the San Francisco minimum wage law had gotten this Thad Volger, who runs Joe's Crab Shack out in California to try to replace this in the first place, just to see what would happen. And there were a number of city mandates. There are a number of city mandates that are expensive, and the imminent $16 minimum wage is among those. So it has been very much on restaurant owners' minds to how to compensate this differently. So this guy had been at a number of different meetings with restaurateurs and in the city, and there was sort of a sense that a number of them were going to try to make this shift, and so he thought he would just go first. Let's just try it. And it was raise the menu prices a bit, and everyone do away with the tipping, and everyone gets a higher wage, and thinking of it that way.
Then you're still eating at Joe's Crab Shack, so.
Well, not...
And that's interesting that a corporate franchise is kind of the first example, because I feel like that's not the first. That's not who's going to make this work.
Right.
The mom and pops are going to make it work.
Right, because then he also has franchise fees. You know what I mean? He's got overhead above and beyond.
So what happened? Did just the business drop off?
That before eliminating tipping, he said that the kitchen staff was making between $13 and $20 an hour, and the front of the house staff was making about $25 to $40 an hour. Whether the raises, on whether he gave raises out to even out the back of the house versus the front of the house, he said very much so. He would describe that in the kitchen received raises, the senior staff in the front of the house. There was all kinds of different things, but they don't have an exact amount of, then it slipped to this. So I'm not sure why the doing away with. That's why I wanted to know what your
Does your
input
information
was.
say what he was paying people?
No, that's what it was. He was paying that they were.
They were
getting-
making.
Well, they were
X.
making that
They were
at
making that, but it
tips,
doesn't
sure.
say like $2.13 an hour or two.
Yeah.
Oh,
whatever.
no. But what did he compensate them for to take them from
Right.
$25 to
It
$40
does not
an
say.
hour? Yeah, that's
Okay.
It does
Yeah,
not
that
say.
was
because
the
that's what
difference.
you want to know.
That's what I'm curious to
Right.
know. Like,
Right.
when do I go
We
from
increased
making
10%.
$30 an hour to what are you going to decide to pay me?
Yeah.
On what? So
Well, and it's a variable, like you said, it was between 25 to
was,
40.
right.
So
That's
just
a
like
big
And
deal.
then some nights you don't
Well,
get a
that's
table.
and that's
Some
what
nights
your
you're
that's what your
still-
front of house at a good
Yeah.
restaurant is going to
Exactly.
make. They're going to make
Right.
20 to 40
Right.
bucks an hour on tips.
up and down.
And
it
they-
depends.
Yeah.
Sure.
Feast or famine,
Or
basically.
when I
So
found out I
my-
was allergic to cigarette smoke is when I worked in a smoking section and we would divide it up, and I was like, I can't stand there next to someone who's just smoking in
away,
my face
yeah.
the
Right,
whole
that's
time.
right.
Like that's when I started to learn that.
On what made him decide to switch back to tipping, and he said attrition. We were losing staff, servers mostly. Kitchen was of course happy, and turnover was non-existent. And senior staff in the front of the house were really happy because they were getting.
So let's just assume like they
more.
were put on a level $30 and they
Just
didn't
cut
make
it
the
in half.
high peak nights weren't high peak and it was just
Right.
So a Saturday night you'd have made $45 an hour, let's just
Correct.
say, but all of a sudden you're making 30 and you're like,
Oh,
fuck this.
I doubt he paid them $30.
No,
an hour.
no,
I'm
but
just
the
using it as an
average.
Oh, yeah,
example.
yeah.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
using it as an
Absolutely.
example. So all of a sudden he's gonna pick a number that's gonna be an average somewhere in that, and rather than you having these peaks at 45 an hour on busy nights,
Yeah.
you're just gonna get a lower number all the time, and of course they're gonna leave.
And like when everyone's like, why are the burger flippers getting $15 an hour? You should be standing with them to get more money at your job as well. Like the workers
Right.
should unite again and demand more money from all these companies that have millions and millions of dollars that are like doing these financial improvements. Like, oh, this is trust money. We're just building that parking garage because we had to spend that money on something. Or you could pay your employees more.
Right.
And
don't-
we've talked about that. This whole cap on that's the most money you can make in that job. You've maxed out. But I've been here for 30
Right.
years.
Says-
How can I be maxed out?
Ooh.
You can keep going up because they're building buildings behind us. You're good.
Based on my experience at Panda Express this past week, they don't get anything more than what they're getting.
Sorry,
Yeah, exactly.
It was
I
a
agree with
shitty. Yeah, it was not, and I haven't heard back from Panda yet. I tagged them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
funny
I
'cause
hate
when
it
I-
when
Did
you
they
go to
don't.
Twitter?
I hate it when they
Huh?
don't.
Did you tweet?
My Facebook tweets.
It won't tag them the same.
No, but they're tagged on their face. I literally went to their page,
Yeah.
liked their page, and then I tagged them in the post.
Oh,
Those notifications are really hard to. I'll just tell you because I know.
That's all right.
Those notifications are really hard to get. Their Twitter is a lot more personal, even to your corporate entities. So if you go on Twitter and put @Panda Express, you are much more likely to get a response than Facebook. Facebook buries a lot of that stuff, especially their pages format. It's all kinds of fucked up. So if you are Panda Express, you're stuck with a page, so you don't get the same kind of notifications. And your posts go out differently, and you see things that come in differently. So Panda Express probably hasn't seen your shit.
Yeah,
is
because
the
I
moral
know
of this story.
I put Harkins into a post on my page when I complained about Harkins, and I got a personal message back like that.
Harkins is a smaller company. It's a local company.
Yeah.
So your small local companies are still paying a little bit more attention to Facebook.
But it wasn't, because if you go on the page and like you insult someone that, if you go on and get a little aggressive with, let's say, Fox News, for example, it gets buried in the comments. You'll be surprised. It's like 3 days later, it'll be like, Joe, someone or other likes your comment. That was like comment number 600, because everyone's hitting that page with information.
Right.
With this, the thing that he was saying that he thought needed to happen was that the one primary mistake, they tried this for a year, was thinking that somehow that he wanted the prices, they were raising it because it was about 21% that people were getting. And now they have to go up to almost 40% when they really look at where they'd have to put their prices, like as far as the food and everything else. Am I really going to keep going to that restaurant, Joe's Crab Shack, or not?
Right. Oh, no, I got you.
And Harrison's absolutely right. Suddenly that money isn't tax-free.
Right.
But if you want credit,
that's a big fucking deal.
it is a big fucking deal until you're trying to buy a house or a car and you're living on tips, and all of a sudden, like, you need to claim.
Right. All of a sudden, you have to prove it.
So it's one thing to be like, "Ooh, I'm living tax-free," but it's another when you can't get a car, you can't get out, you can't buy a house. You can't get a credit card.
Why do you think Sharon owns all my things?
Right. And it is because of tip money. So yes, the tax-free money is good, but it's better to claim it and build up your credit. Otherwise, you're going to be, at a certain age and have absolutely no proof of income. And then Social Security rolls around and you've got like $5 coming to every year because you've not paid anything into Social Security. So
and we joke about that in my house all the time because Sharon buys all the things. You know what I mean? When we go to buy a new car, like my van, I look at her and I'm like, buy me a car. You know, and we were thinking about buying a house this year, so I screamed at her for about 3 days until we talked to a mortgage guy and decided it wasn't time. But yeah, I screamed at her for 3 days. I was like, buy me a house.
Yeah.
She'd be like, I'm waiting for him to call me back. She just rolls her eyes. She's like, I'm waiting for him to call me back. And then I'd walk out of the room and I'd walk back in and be like, hey, you know what I want? She'd be like, oh, what?
Want a house.
Buy me a house.
Because I did 12 years of living off tips, and it was you had to pick that fine line. Like, I had to admit to just about everything I made because
otherwise you can't get financing
because I had credit. I wanted a car. Like, I bought cars. I
And dependent on situations.
I wanted a nice apartment, you know what I mean? Like,
people don't think enough with that retirement piece because many times when we're starting out in a service industry, we're a lot younger.
Yeah.
So you don't think about it, right? And so you're very excited about the amount of cash that's coming in. If you live somewhere like San Francisco or even now to a degree with the light rail and the buses here, but New York, places like that, you're not really needing a car.
Right.
There are different things that you may not need, but the idea of who's going to go to that fucking restaurant?
Yeah.
If you're going to take your prices and bump them up by 40%.
40%, that's a huge margin.
That's a huge margin.
Oh, well, it is. Because then you're also not tipping 20%, so you get a little.
That's true.
You get a little bit back.
But how many people are really going to look at that? I know that I'd walk in and be like, "Whoa!"
Because today at lunch, it was a friendly exchange. It was slow for lunch. I had a drink, so I tipped way more than 20%.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that would have been cheaper to just
absolutely
go up the extra. But it was a charming conversation. You know what I mean? I paid for the company.
Yeah, absolutely,
you do.
Absolutely. But I don't know that if you walk in somewhere that you're going to sit down and think about. You might. Apparently, I don't know that I would. If I go into Joe's Crab Shack and I walk in there. And I all of a sudden look at the menu and it's gone up 40%, I'm walking right back out.
Yeah. But you look at the menu outside, you look at the prices, or they'll just, Joe's Crab Shack, so half the thing is probably says market price.
Right.
You just look it up online.
Yeah.
My whole point is that I wouldn't be there
right,
because
right.
of those prices going to where they are.
I'm not playing Red Lobster prices for this shit.
I
I have been craving Red Lobster though, so we need to get ourselves to a Red Lobster.
I was just
I
at
need
one
some
recently.
of the fucking biscuits.
The biscuits, yeah.
I haven't been to one.
And Walt's favorite
forever.
shrimp. That's all I ever get.
Well, we should go and take Buddy early because the lesbians we like the
I've been,
like
to
chain
Red, I've been to
restaurants.
Red Lobster since my mom died because she thought that was
Oh,
fancy.
that was her thing.
Oh, yeah.
Red Lobster used to be fancy.
Yeah.
It's for the
Shrimp fest
seafood
and a
lover in you.
biscuit. Yeah.
According to their commercials.
I'm using seafood and lover. Titus talking. Titus is always talking. 2 turtle doves.
2 turtle doves.
Anyway, and
You're
yes,
probably
and,
going to the park to make friends with a butterfly.
and Anant, it is bullshit with the bathroom situation.
It absolutely is.
Fucking pee where you need to pee.
All right, so
Stupid.
Anant, do thoughtful vulgarity and answer the question.
Okay, here we
Oh,
go.
good.
Go something like this.
And now, thoughtful vulgarity, where we in the studio try to make ourselves slightly less shallow, which is not hard to do. We will ask one question of the panel while fucked up drunk. Because you know at home how well it goes when important questions come up several hours after alcohol has been served. Politics, religion, why not? What could possibly go wrong? Who could you offend? Good luck.
So Anant asks, what have each of us learned from our 199 episodes of this mobile feast?
What have we learned?
Huh. To not drink as much. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's actually a very true statement.
I can't believe you learned that here.
I did.
You hadn't learned that from like,
Oh no, you.
From other
No.
fine experiences that
No,
we've heard
there were
about.
many fine experiences that should have led me down that road.
but nope, this is the one that did it.
But
This
a
is the
weekly
one that
drinking
did it.
excursion
Yes,
was
yes.
the one.
Yeah, you realize that that sometimes it gets when it's very exciting and you can swear. Well, I have continued the swearing.
yeah.
It's very exciting that you can just curse ad nauseum and go at it and nobody cares and nobody can slap you in the hand for it. But the cocktailing had gotten a bit much, and so anyway, it's fun to be able to come every couple of weeks and remember. Yeah.
And relive past mistakes.
And be able to exactly. Yes.
I can't believe I used to do this with like chugging vodka.
Yeah.
Like, ooh.
Oh yeah. No.
Those were good shows.
Yeah.
Oh. Maybe.
I know the vodka god. Not
Ultimate
smiling on
Vodka.
me.
Ask for it by name.
Oh yes.
Like 28 shows where that was the whole tagline.
Oh, the pictures of him holding the little
Yeah.
mini bottles? Yeah. Got those too.
That vodka has not treated me badly yet, but you just can't find good vodka. Like every bar has
He's
shitty
tried.
vodka.
I knew I should have stolen.
Durant still carries it. That's the only place.
I should have stolen that dusty bottle for you a long time ago. Damn.
There's a new vodka that just showed up at Stacy's that they were pushed on somebody. I thought it was funny they call it an organic vodka. It's called Prairie.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
There's organic vodkas
yeah,
out there.
but-
There's a
I've
couple
seen
of
it.
them.
How is it not organic anyway?
Well-
It's fermented and it's made out of potatoes.
No, but the potatoes that it comes from or the grains that it comes from are organic. Like that's where you get the organic.
Oh, they're like not all Monsanto'd up.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
The ingredients that go into it.
All right.
And if I
Like,
remember
the
correctly,
process
Ultimate
is
is
natural.
half grain, half potato, and it's like 7
Well,
times distilled
Prairie
and it
is-
tastes
I
like
know.
water.
Prairie is, according to what I overheard, it's half corn, half potato.
Interesting.
But I didn't sample it. He was pushing it on somebody else, and I just happened to
Oh,
see
in
it.
that place in upstate New York where we go to not upstate, in the Finger Lakes, where we
That's why you did this.
where we go wine tasting.
Finger Lakes.
Finger Lakes.
Finger Lakes.
where we go do the wine tasting. They have a distillery. So when you're sick of wine, you can go to a distillery, and they have a corn whiskey that is just delicious. I never
bet.
thought it would. Dusty bottle.
Those horrible steamers.
No,
Good job.
while I was a frequent listener, I also worked at the cash, and there was a dusty bottle like at the bottom and back of a cabinet of Ultimate Vodka, and I would look at it every week as I was doing the inventory, and I'd be like, nobody's gonna miss this. I should just grab that for Al.
Right.
And I just never did, and I didn't even think about it as I was storming out the day that I stormed out. I
Right.
should have gone and stolen a
should've-
bottle
And
of
this is
vodka.
all I need.
Yeah.
You should have huffed your way back
Just
in there.
this.
Here's my
Yeah,
keys, and this is for Al. I'll see you the fuck later.
Count. Namaste, motherfucker.
Namaste.
That would have been a really good
That would
exercise.
have been.
Aaron, that's funny. I thought the same thing. Dusty Bottles sounds like a drag name.
There's your drag name.
All right, I'm going to be a bit of a narcissist, and I'm going to say that I learned that I don't mind the sound of my own voice.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people in a recording will hear themselves back and be like,
freak
"Oh
out.
no, that's
Sure.
Right.
not okay." But no, I listen back to shows that I've actually been in, and
You've actually been in shows?
well, sure,
Wow.
yeah, and I listen to shows that I haven't been in.
Yeah. Waka waka.
But no, I don't have that adverse reaction to my speaking voice. My singing voice, on the other hand, still needs work, thanks to that fucking Sing app.
Oh.
It's the worst.
I got to get drunk and play with
You
that
gotta,
Sing
you
app
gotta,
sometime.
you've got to try it.
Because my
It's
neighbors have been
fantastic.
requesting it.
For you
What,
work
to
on
listen
your
to something
singing
else?
voice?
Can we listen to anything
Well,
else?
somebody said, why don't you put on headphones? I'm like, why? So my neighbors have to listen to me sing unaccompanied?
The best part of the Sing app is that's
awesome.
what you do. You put on headphones, and so it feeds the accompaniment into you.
Yeah.
And then through the
Yeah,
mic
but
on
they
your,
don't get to hear
right.
it.
So the people in the room where it happens
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the room.
don't get to hear it. Right. So you put on mic'd headphones that come with your iPhone or your
It
whatever.
just came to me
and
if-
you sing into it.
If you're
love
singing
it.
with headphones and they can't hear the background and the music going with you, you're singing a cappella.
That was hard on all of us.
That was hard, everybody. Yeah,
hurt me
I
a
waited for
lot.
like 35 seconds to let that one out.
Clayton McKee, what have you learned in 199 shows?
I'm gonna agree with what one thing Joe said. The laughter
Yeah.
that we've done over all of these shows in this 4 years. Some shows obviously better than others. Some are more memorable than others. Not just because of the quality
Some
of the
of
show.
them
but-
alcohol-induced.
Yes. The laughter. It's healing. It's fun. It's a great escape. That's been a great thing. The other thing that I've learned that it's very interesting, and I know we've talked about this before. The people like the Anants, the Aminas, the what was his Richard from not Richard, the gentleman from
Fair.
Quebec.
From Canada.
Oh no,
Tomo.
okay, no,
Yeah.
no, yeah, but no, who's the one that
Donnie
lives
from Okinawa?
in Kentucky?
Oh, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Tyler.
Tyler.
Tyler from
So
Tennessee.
all of
And
those-
we made a
thought
couple
about
too many
him a
southern.
lot, I know.
What-
Too many southern jokes.
So what's amazing to me with all of that is, again, it's shocking to me that 4 people sitting in Phoenix, Arizona, can strike a chord with somebody all the way around the world that we've never interacted with other than that screen of a chat room and maybe Facebook on some of them. But it's just astounding to me that we strike a chord and bring what I'm going to assume is joy and frustration all in one package to all of these people, and it's amazing to me that from somebody who started a broadcasting career at a real radio station, then figured out that this is possible with a couple iPods and a recording device, and then we graduated to video, and then inflicted visual on everybody, which I still apologize for, but thank you.
Me too.
Yeah, sorry about
But
that.
no, I just have learned again. It's the joy of laughter and how much fun it just. Every week you come in, and I will admit though, there are some weeks I'm like I'm not up for the show. I'm not up. And then I'm like, you get over that hump and you're like, oh, we're good, we go.
And
really-
then when you go to leave, you stay here.
I
You
most often stay because I
often
live
do.
here, yes.
But when I go to leave, on days that it might be like that, I'm like, oh my God, that was so much fun. Like,
Yeah.
or chuckle on the way home about something.
And you
just
forget
enjoy it.
about all the other shit that's gone on, or you try to. Some of it just lingers with you regardless. But I mean, it's like, I know for you, because I know you have been through a lot of shit at the restaurant at times, and sometimes just coming here with that bottle and just sitting for 3 hours and laughing is the best therapy you can get.
Oh yeah, and it's the one day that they know that I'm not coming to work. Like
Yeah.
I have the one day
Right.
reprieve from them that they can't. And they really don't ask. Every once in a while, I'll get a, would you mind drinking coffee and coming in? I think I've maybe done it twice in
Yeah.
4 years, where I've gone in at like midnight. Because they're like, you can have fun on coffee. Like, we've worked with you. Coffee's okay.
I love the fact that Anand said that he is one of the coolest and most well-informed among his friends now.
Because of
Oh,
us.
that's nice.
Wow, your friends are really on the low end of this information
I know,
spectrum.
but God bless him. God bless him. That's
But
great,
hey, good
Anand.
good
I
on
love it.
Anand,
I
yeah.
love it.
But yeah,
love
it's amazing.
Well,
And
and
I,
how many different things do we talk about? I mean, there's couch fucking. There's
sure.
I mean, there's always some kind of weird shit like that we come up with. and-
Somebody made a comment to me. I forget
And
where I
funny
was.
stories.
Zebras cross the road in Kenya. Like,
That's
Somebody made a
exactly right.
comment about, well, is it a gay podcast? And I'm like, well, yes, we all are, but I'm like, we talk about everything. It's not all that, but we hit everything. I mean, Hamilton's not a gay thing.
But it was with a gay slant. With a gay slant. There's a gay
No,
slant.
I get that,
Yeah,
but I'm saying political. It's not all. It's just a lot of it's just common sense. Like we ripped about the polling here in Arizona back when the primary happened. Was it in March?
Right.
Like we talk about everything. It's not just about a gay agenda or.
Right.
But we skew a little gay. I get that.
It's not that defined. It's not that narrow. But I was describing the show to someone, and I think one of the things that
challenging come to mind.
Right. No, one of the things that makes this show gel so well is I think that everyone that sits at this table has a very similar perspective. Like the Phoenix gay community is very unique nationally. In how it's made up, in how close we are, in how how tight knit the gay community really is here, and the longevity that personalities have in this gay community. There's not a lot of turnover. There's not a lot of changing of the guard, if you will. Sure. You know what I mean? Like we've all been around for as long as we've been around, and we know 100 other people that have been around, right. In similar roles and in similar levels. So there's a constancy. Sure. And a consistency. Sure. That's the word. The one that's
constancy.
Constancy.
Consistency. Weaponized constancy.
There's a constance and consistency to our community, and we all come from a very similar perspective from within that community. So this show kind
of
looks out to say,
too,
right.
Yeah.
We all have a very similar perspective and a very similar outlook from our place in the community and therefore our place in the world. And I think a lot of that consistency really kind of drives the message of the show in a way that's really hard to describe if you're not in the room where it happens.
Yeah, and I've always said it works better when there's 4 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the 3 is fun, the 2 is not good, the
2 is
sometimes he walks away and leaves me by myself.
I need another drink.
This coming from the man who said, I always wanted a talk show. Talk, bitch!
But as it turns out, though, it's not just...
It's the back of
I was never craving a monologue.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was that Mike Douglas show thing of like everyone staying on the couch. Like you didn't just do your one little thing. It was the conversation as the guest got longer.
That's what James Corden does so well on the what is it called, the Late Late Show on CBS.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does the same thing. He brings all the guests out, and they all have a conversation, and this story sparks this, and this brings, I enjoy that.
Because you're gonna hit someone, like, you know what I mean. Like if it was just you and I was talking about Hamilton, you would have checked out a while ago. But you know what I mean. But exactly, you're gonna.
I might get on board if I take a moment or two to listen to these things, which I'm going to.
It's 3 hours.
Shut up. Is it 3 hours?
It's the score of a Broadway play. Yeah,
I'm well aware, but it's 3. Well, it's 2 acts.
2 acts.
Got it. I didn't realize the acts were 90 minutes.
The
90 minutes.
After
alcohol has been served. Yeah.
Incidentally, I missed the old one that says 90 minutes. There's something about the cadence of the new one that's still wrong. It's still wrong.
I still got it.
Well, and as much as I like you people and kind of respect you, I mean the idea, but. I love that about us, that we can give each other shit. We can go back and forth and we can hopefully have fun with it, and it's not a mean-spirited thing. And that there's that level of respect that says, which makes everything, that's what's so fantastic to me, where we can look at it and say, yeah, no, I don't agree at all about that. But it doesn't affect, it's like, okay.
And that's another interesting perspective you bring, because a lot of people think that I'm just using paint with a broad brush. The gay community is a straight line ticket on everything. We all have the same mindset. We're all doing the same thing. We all want the same thing. No, it's different. Like you may vote for one way. You may think something. It is all different, and I think that we show that. Now, whether or not we all articulate that as well as we should, because I give it up. I am not. You read like a son of a bitch, and so does Al. I don't know what you do, but I don't know. I'm very uneducated on so many different things.
I read all the things.
I know you do. I know you do. And it comes through and it shows very well, because you know I could talk about any goddamn thing, and you just like, well, you know, it's almost like Cliff Clavin from Cheers.
High praise indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, because you got Norm over
Hashtag
here.
goals.
Well, you know, the Malaysian Velociraptor was in a very swampy.
Listen, segue is my very favorite thing to do.
I enjoy your segues. You do very, very well on a
We
segue.
should get her one, a Segway. She can come in on a Segway.
Oh, she can't get around the end of that table.
Fuck off, boo. I think that would be very appropriate.
Well, if you're listening out there, even on a repeat.
I didn't get mine
No,
yet.
you didn't get his yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you did. Where's mine?
Y'all talk so fucking much.
Oh, really? Really?
Oh, Amina, you should call in.
That'd be
Ring.
awesome.
We'll find a way. We'll find a way to make it
I'll
work.
the phone's for you. It's the pot.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the human awareness show, Mom. My mom says.
Yeah, it is
right.
human awareness.
I like it.
Amina, how would you call us? You don't have a number.
does that mean we're a bunch of has-beens?
Oh, don't we still have
Human
that number
awareness
up somewhere
show?
of call this
Nope.
line? Oh no, I'm like,
That
Oh my
died.
God,
For
do you
the
remember
listeners?
that? The listener.
Shut up.
I don't even know how we spelled that.
Listeners.
Incorrectly would be the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, that was fucking funny.
I would say that I just learned about like so many different perspectives on stuff, like especially with like people calling from all over the place. Like in Tyler, we started off with, you know, the first person that ever
Right.
like got in the chat room was
The
from
one.
was
Like
from
my nose
like
run.
Pigeon
I know.
Forward, right? Wasn't he from Pigeon Forward,
Forward.
Tennessee?
That's right.
And all
And
of
it
a
was
sudden
a
we had a
teacher?
southern
Is a
perspective.
teacher?
A
Yeah.
teacher. So we had a southern perspective from a teacher that was all of a sudden new, and as people have gone in and made
And
it on the
Harrison
list.
and making those kind of bonds with
Yeah.
people. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, just all the different perspectives on something that you think, well, this is what I think, so it must be great. Then you get someone from the South being like, that's kind of a dick thing to say.
Sure,
like, there's
sure.
some of us that are trying to fight this. Like,
And I
you
for-
can't just throw
Is
it
that
all
why we
up.
lost Tyler? Were we dickish to too many Southern
knows?
places?
Oh, I mean, one night we did go pretty hard on the.
The interesting thing, and I forget this, but I keep saying to people, like Annette just said, I look forward to this every Wednesday.
Yeah.
We are a Tuesday night show in the United States, but we are a morning show around the world. There was the guy that used to listen, I forgot name, used to be from Cairo. Cairo,
Not
Egypt,
Steven.
and we were a morning show
you're
for him
right.
as he drove to work.
Oh, yeah, I forgot
That's
about
right.
him.
And
No,
it's
he was before I started writing everybody down.
just very
Yeah.
interesting that you think about all these people from
and
around the
people,
world.
and the people from France, but you know, as we had a
And
conversation
Nero,
last week about.
like Nero's traveling right now, so she doesn't
Oh.
get to be a part of this.
Oh right.
Yeah, yeah.
And Pascal, who listens from the
Yes.
Netherlands every week, and
Okay.
like is always he and I have the same birthday, which I forgot about
Oh,
until
that's right.
until my birthday.
Okay.
That I was like, oh, and his name popped up. I think it's a
Yes,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Also, it's a microphone.
Yeah.
so the stage whisper doesn't help. It's so funny. I look at pictures all the time.
It's fantastic. My
But it
God.
really is, and we had like even recently we had the conversation about like what is
I love it,
the
Aaron. I love it.
what's the
What is love?
what's it got to do with it?
it?
Yeah. But like, what's keeping people from being out or accepting homosexuality, and like to have
Oh,
our
sure.
perspective, and then to have someone in India's perspective
Oh,
that
yeah.
I would have never
Yeah.
had that. Like,
Right.
when was I ever going to run into somebody currently living in India? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, not here to us. You know what I mean? Like
When
that's
would I
that's
ever
just
Probably
learn
not
to speak
often.
Swahili?
Yeah.
For God's sake, I know.
Right.
Kuma. Yeah.
right. So it's just all these different
Yoni.
perspectives on things that I just thought I knew everything, and as I come here, I'm like, well, I don't
Yeah.
know that.
Sure.
I do know that Veep is funny, but
And we've had people for quite a while with Meow Cal and coming in. I love that Aaron works on late on Tuesdays. You know, just Tomo. How fun that!
It's been a while since we've had him in the chat room, but he's still hanging
the
out
other
there.
day
I'm
he
sure.
jumped in there. Richard.
yeah, I mean, it really has been fun to get all these different perspectives, get made fun of for fake French.
God.
Yeah, so
I can't see. There are so many things though. Like I can't see poutine without thinking about Richard.
or the fact that somehow none of us had ever had, what the fuck are those things called from New Orleans? The powdery donut shit things.
Oh, beignets.
Beignets. Remember? We had to Google it. We had to
That's right.
learn how to pronounce it.
She
We
just
went through
pulls
this
it out
whole
of her
thing.
You
ass.
guys didn't know anything about beignets?
No, we
Uh-uh,
never.
we didn't.
She brought them in, and we had to
Yeah.
like Google it and try them. We were looking at them like it was.
Divine Secrets of the Yaya
Yeah.
Sisterhood.
Well, we
I didn't know what the hell they
now.
were talking about.
I
It
made
wasn't a scratch and
beignets.
sniff.
I don't know. I read a lot. I read a lot.
You do.
Oh, I never read that book, so I only saw the movie and didn't really
Yeah.
love it.
I loved the movie because Sandy's in it. Because why not?
Well, duh.
Right.
Well, I mean,
Duh.
it's just
Yeah.
it's just
She fits-
riddled
she
with
fits the mold.
fantastic women.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
But that was the funny. That I would like to go back and listen to that, just to listen to us stumble through a word like none of us had ever heard before.
that's funny.
Was that my birthday a couple years ago?
I think it was.
So I couldn't try.
Trying to big.
I must have been in my
think it
car,
was.
like screaming at the radio.
Yeah, you probably were.
Oh, I'm sure everybody was there. Was like,
Yeah,
really, beignets?
yeah. And you chewed too much, but we lost Molly.
Well, because they're spelled. It's spelled
That's why we lost it.
B-E-N-I-E-T-S.
Yeah, looks like begnets.
Like John Benet.
That's right.
That was and that still
Right.
amazes me. Like, how did I make it? Like, what's the shit that I think is salami in the airport?
What?
Hickory Farms.
Tobler. It was
Oh,
called.
Toblerone?
Toblerone.
And what is it
Yeah.
really?
It's
Chocolate.
It's a chocolate
Oh
candy
yeah, I
bar.
thought it was
Yeah,
sausage.
No.
Oh,
I
in
just
the
assumed it was
triangles?
I just thought it was a pepperoni
Yeah.
stick that people were
Oh.
carrying
There's
around.
Oh.
Apparently,
That's a Slim Jim.
in a triangle.
That's like a tube, isn't it?
No,
I don't know.
it's like a triangle.
But I had no idea what it was.
But I just think it's wonderful, and having Jenny and having all of our it's very fun.
Our extended
It's very
familia
fun.
out
and
there
Don
in-
Don now
in
in
podcast
North
land.
Carolina.
Yes.
James.
I know. I'm going to make it to LA soon and meet Aaron.
But again,
that'd be fun.
next week is show number 200. It's just going to be the four of us in here with whatever we show up with. So,
I thought Buddy was coming.
well, Buddy's going to stop by later. Katie's we're going to phone in with her, but it's really just going to be us. We're not doing
I'm bringing champagne.
fireworks are
That's
not
fair. Oh,
going
nice.
off, but we'll have fun, just the four of us.
It
And,
will be fun.
and you, if you're listening in the chat room, by all means, feel free to
We're excited.
to chime in with
Yeah.
us and suggest things and ask things. And, well, I'm sure we can fill another 3 hours. We've done it 199 previous
I'm not
times.
sure
Time and
what
again.
Special animal that might be.
Pepperoni.
And next week we have Aaron and an aunt have birthdays, so they won't be able to join us. So
Oh,
happy birthday
and
to
Drew's
both of
birthday
them.
as well. Drew and Bear.
Oh,
and,
that's right, at the end of May. That's
Yeah,
right.
Bear's birthday's coming up. Drew's birthday's coming up. Aaron's the 19th. And Nan's the 24th.
Wow.
Nice.
See, there's a reason I wrote all this shit down.
And a happy birthday to them.
Birthday City.
Yes.
Birthday
I got you
City.
guys nothing.
Yeah. We
Gotcha.
have no gift except for the gift of
That's
laughter.
that's my standard
The gift
standing
of
gift.
laughter.
Namaste.
Alrighty. Well, I think we'll stick a fork in this pig.
I'm right here.
Why are you calling me names?
It's all right.
A bunch of happy
Once again,
birthday.
thank everybody out there for listening to us.
We
This
just know
is
Amina's a Libra. We don't know.
Q Talk America. We
know
do
birthday.
it every Tuesday. You can find us on the Facebooks if you care to do it. Just
Happy
look up-
birthday,
We
Nan.
did it, Nant. Listen.
He's a minute behind.
It's on delay. It'll get you
You'll get
eventually.
there.
It's all right.
I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh my heavens. Well, if you survive, we hope to survive. I think the storm blew through. We're kind of safe on that one. We didn't lose power. Yay!
Yay! Or the internet. Oh my
How's that?
God. Can we go one show without a
What?
technical
Almost.
difficulty?
As we wrap up tonight's show, let's leave you with this parting thought. We will see you next Tuesday!